for the skies. Opening my hands to welcome in the day. Gather in the sun's rays before I'm on my way. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, numb is the word. Moving through the day, pray no accidents arise. Giving thanks to heaven that I am still alive. Blessing my enemies, blessing the ones I love. Praying for forgiveness for any damages I've done. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, numb is the word. Now the day is done and moon is on the rise. My trials and tribulations all bottled up inside. I summon in the numb as I reach up for the skies. I command all fear and shadows be gone before my eyes. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, numb is the word. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, numb is the word. Yo ho ho. So it's coming down your chimney. Yay. Coming down the chimney. Let's have a look. Let's just check in with everybody here. Okay, so Robin's Realms. Hey. Hey Robin. Greetings RRR. Let me just check in over here. Oh, so cool.
Yay. There you go. Okay, now you know what's going to happen next. I'm going to switch over here. Just check in with you guys. Hold on. Yeah, we've done this before. You know the drill. Yeah. So, here we are. Can you believe this? It's actually happening. It's actually happening again. It's been a long time. And we are kind of making gentle edges, edging back gently into, the public here. Hi, Queen of Water. Chances are I can't stay long either, but we're going to try, do what we can. So it must be, let's see, like Monday afternoon for you. I guess you're working, driving around, just doing something, Queen of Water. Yeah. So let me just take a few names. You know I can't resist. Sorry. Where you been? Let me just do this. You know I can't resist. I know I got Love Triber here. Hello, Love Triber. Thank you for the reminder. Yo. Yes. Let's have a look. I know I've got Starsy. Yeah. And I know I've got JGF. Where are you? JGF. There you are. Greetings, JGF. Yeah. And Gabby Girl's here too. Cool. Excellent. Good evening, everyone. Yes, it's super to have you. And, hold on. Robin's Realms and Queen of Water. Yes. Oh, I love doing this. I can't tell you how satisfying this is. I know it doesn't make much sense. I mean, what's the point of doing it? But I just love doing it. I like to see who's here. Megastar. Yay. Megastar. Thank you so much for being here, Megastar. Much appreciated. Yes, I'm glad you're here too. Yes. Everybody's checking in. There's Ivona. Gotta check in. Let's start another side over here. Ivona Kukulka. Kukulka. Yay. Hello, Vimatos. Sadly, yes. Sadly, I'm so sorry, Vimatos. It's SuperChat. It's a SuperChat mini readings night. Okay. Evil's Dog. Greetings, Evil's Dog. I know what that says. I heard about that. God is love. Very cool. Evil's. I gotta get it right. Evil's Dog. There we go. 88. God is love. All right. Hey, thank you, Robin. Okay, we got a double duty mini reading here for Robin. RRR. Let's have a look. How will things go for my son and his baby? Whoa. That's the drama mama. Son plus baby. Big question mark there. And my stepdaughter's surgery. Wow, okay. Stepdaughter surgery. Okay. I'm sure we can squeeze that all in. Thank you, Robin. Super duper. Oh, Basti! Yay! Ooh, I like your fancy. What is that? I've never seen that before. That's really cool. Oh, Basti. Meow. Meow. How are you holding up, Basti? You've only been at the job for a few weeks. Yay! Hi, Jackie. It's amazing. I'm actually here. Basti's purr. Let's just put the whole thing. Okay, so I'll put a big question mark up here for you, Obasti. Thank you, Jackie. Most appreciated. Megastar, you're going to get one too. Absolutely. Now, as you know, we can leave these totally blank. I know, it's really tough, JGF, trying to keep up, isn't it? Okay, some new funny things cracking me up tonight. How, JGF, how did you get your little smiley face winky eyes to go sideways? Okay? Yeah, it's raining SuperChat. Oh, it hurts. Ow, ow, I need an umbrella. I want my umbrella. My SuperChat umbrella. Yeah. Ah, Ubasti, you love the job, but it's tiring. So could you tell, while we're saying hello to everybody and everything, could you tell us a little bit on the screen about about the story here? For Ubasti, like some of you might not know, but Ubasti is a pet psychic, okay? Really powerful pet psychic. And she just recently scored a cool gig working with animals. So I know I'm eager to hear the latest updates of the story. Yeah. Hello, Jackie. I'm going to put you over here. I forgot to put you over here. Let's put Jackie Sean over there. Thank you so much. Yay. Gabby girl knew you would get the job. Okay. Everybody's saying hi. Everybody's saying greetings, hi, hello, and welcome. Excellent. It's truly like a real proper love tribe thing here, love triber, dear love triber. Thank you so much. Keeping that vibration going. And wait a minute, I just forgot something. Wait a minute, there's 4 super chats on the screen, but I've only got 3. What did I do wrong? Oh, I know what it is, Jackie. That's what it is, Jackie Sean. Okay, chance to sell my home this month. Whoa, that's a lot of pressure. Chances, let me put that over here. To sell house this month. Okay. Well, you can probably tell by my tone of voice that I keep thinking, Okay. Alright, so I'm going to put Jackie over here. Jackie just put some in a pot. Thank you all for your super kindness, okay? Oh, let's have a look. I want to see that story. So, Ubasti's been, hold on. What's that? Let me read that. Okay. Love Triber is saying, I have 3 indoor kitties already. He can't come inside. He's cute. I like him, but he's upsetting the other kitties. Okay, that's fair, you know. Basti is saying on her, well, she's just started at this job, so it's still very new. You're still getting used to things. I've been working with an aggressive cat named Pluto. Oh my God. That's power. Pluto, you know, it's all about power. Okay, it's the question is what do you do with all that power? So maybe this cat Pluto has a lot of power but doesn't know what to do with it. I'm good with him, but if he doesn't stop with the potty mouth, I'm afraid he won't get adopted. Okay, hold on. Hey, a message from Ivona. Hello, Ivona. It says here, Ubasti and Nikki, I don't know if you remember. It had to be back in August. I asked about my Yorkie with cancer, and you both were concentrating on his chest area. Aha. Okay, yes. Keep going. Keep going, Ivona. We need to hear more. Love Driver. The little cat keeps scratching till someone hears him. I have to shut the curtains on him to keep the peace. Oh, that's... Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, that's kind of awkward. Yeah. Community cats. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, Ivona, let's have a look here. About the chest. With the, hold on, I want to see that. The Yorkie with the cancer. Okay, it says here, I was not sure what it could have meant at the time, but a few days later he got an awful open wound on his neck chest area. Ubasti says, I remember. Oh my gosh, that was probably weeks ago, because we haven't done a show 2 weeks in a row. I missed you guys. So, Ivona, how is the Yorkie right now? What's up with Yorkie? What's up with Yorkie? Yeah? Oh, okay. I'm just reading through the chat, people, so that we know where we are. I'm just trying to catch up with everybody. It's been weeks and weeks since we hung out. I got my little beverage. Whoa. I see you, Jackie. I got you. I got you. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to take it easy. I'm a bit of an action junkie, you know? I can't, you know how, people who go to war, people become war junkies? They can't help themselves. They like thrive on the action. And I love the action of this channel. I just love doing it, but it took its toll on me, as some of you know. So I've been resting quite a lot over the last few weeks, and I'm starting to slowly recover. I have to tell you, I'm only about 60% good at the moment, but it's enough just to scrape through maybe part of a show. Hello, Maria. Hey, Ubasti. You're being charged with a psychic message to be delivered to the community cat over at Love Tribers in Las Vegas. Okay, so if you guys need to hang out, you guys need to check up. Titko. I'm going to put a note up here for Titko. Titko the Yorkie. Okay. And Hercules is the cat. Okay. That's the community cat. What a name. What's the name of... Wait a minute. I didn't get Ubasti. Hold on. I knew there was something missing. I got your post-it note, but I didn't get you on the list. Okay. So, that name Hercules, that sounds like it would really be good for that name for that Pluto cat. But if Pluto's the name already, hold on, he's already named Pluto. Okay. Okay, well, let's leave it at Pluto. You can't mess with that. You can't mess with a name like that. This was for your reading the other day. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, I see what you're saying. So, I'll just put you over here on the donation site and make it look like that, because I love to see your post-it note there anyway. Okay, Nikki, what's going on? Hello. Greetings. We just fired up the channel. Greetings, Nikki, and everybody's checking in saying hello. Greetings. What a super mob you guys are. What a super, super crowd. Thank you so much. So, Ubasti's got her new gig at the shelter, dealing with a very, very gnarly cat named Pluto. Oh, wait a minute. Ubasti's purr's got a message. Love Triber. Oh, okay. So I think we need to have a proper discussion about this. Maybe we'll have a private meeting with Ubasti and Love Triber. We'll set it up, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Pluto also arrived during Scorpio season. Yeah. Oh dear. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I didn't post anything for December. I have the Astrodoodles. They're up there. We did that live thing a while back. Let me show you. Oh, where is it? Just to sort of like, this is just, Oh, okay. All right, I'll just do that. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you very much. Got it. Hey. So, just for anybody who's interested, you know, weeks ago we did some live streams for SuperChat for December 2019 Astrodoodles, and all the Astrodoodles are here, okay? And we did a whole bunch of videos about that. And really all I've done this last month is deal with health issues and do some traveling. And so I haven't really done any reports for December, which makes me feel like I'm a bit, you know, derelict. On the other hand, I just haven't had the energy, so I haven't been able to do it. But at least you've got these, okay? Now, the thing is, for the December 2019 Astrodoodles, which look like, I'll just run through them all very, very quickly with you, okay? Okay. The thing is that they were all done on a sequence of, I think it was 3 or 4 live streams, and so we kind of banged through all of them, and with very little analysis, and I was promising everybody that we would do an in-depth analysis when we did the reports, but then I had my kind of breakdown, and that was the end of that. So the thing is, these are still very relevant, so if anybody wants to, if you need like personal private readings or anything like that, I'm still here. Okay, I got it, Jackie, don't worry. Okay, these are the personal readings. We're going to take care of those in a while. So just so that you know, these do exist. These are completely in random order. Okay, just so that you know. Hold on, I'll do it like this. I have the Virgo Astrodoodle for December. Okay, so it's just December, okay, coming up. Okay, we've got Sagittarius. I'm not doing analyses tonight. Maybe we'll get back to it soon. Sagittarius. I got Libra. I've got everybody. I'm just showing you so that I can prove that it's real and that we did this. Because a lot of you would have forgotten, you know, from weeks ago that we even did this at all. So there's Libra for December. This is Pisces for December. Okay, I'm just rattling through. Capricorn for December. We got Aquarius for December. And we've got Aries for December. We got Taurus. And we've got Scorpio. We've got a few more. We've got Leo. Jolly Leo. We've got Cancer. And we've got Geminis over here. So it's a really important month. I can't stress how important it is because it's like the build-up to 2020, which is even more important. Yo, Path. Let's put this aside for a minute. Because this is, let's have a look. Path Traveler. Hello, everyone. Yes, good greetings. Good grief, good greetings. Path Traveler in the house. Blazing the trails for all of us. Thank you, Path. Here we go. Greetings. So, as you know, we are here tonight. It is Sunday Night Live, and we're doing Super Chat mini readings and a little bit more. We started a little while ago. I know it's late on the East Coast, but this is what we've been doing for a while, and over the next year, things will probably change a bit more. Okay? Yo. Everybody say hi to Path. Hi, Path. Thank you all for showing up. It's a real pleasure to have you here. It was 50-50 chance whether I was going to do this at all, but I decided I have to for my own peace of mind. I'm an action junkie. I'm a compassion junkie. I can't help it. I can't resist, so I had to do it anyway. Okay? Let's have a look at that chat. Hold on, I just saw something. Okay. Upasti's already seeing things. Upasti's seeing an orange and yellow. Something orange and yellow. No, Ivona, you're not the only crazy cat lady here. You're not the only one, okay? Oh, you can't help it. You can't help yourself. Topaz Zen, hey. You just showed. Where did you come from? Hello. Hello, Topaz Zen. Greetings. You know, Topaz, sometimes I felt a bit rough because I gave you you got some pretty tough readings out of Terra Lumination recently. There we go, Topaz Zen. God, my voice is already, it's already a mess. My voice is still pretty messed up. Okay. All right. So I'll keep that there. Keep checking people in. All right. So this is where we are right now. I said, Megastar, you're already checked in ages ago, right? There you are. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Okay, we're really going. Yo, Alson. Greetings, sir. Greetings. I'm glad you got the magic blue wrench tonight. Someone's got to do it. I haven't had any moderators for a long time. I can't remember how all of a sudden you got remoderated, but it's nice to have someone there, like backup and security and all that. I wonder if we're going. Hey, Laura! Wait a minute. Laura Ellen Smith is here. Hold on, I got to say hi to Laura. Greetings. Laura Ellen Smith is in the house. Greetings. Well, we got the troopers here tonight, people. Ooh. Wow. Yes. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Kerblam. Bammo! Bright dazzling orange on the screen here from Topaz Zen. It's a double whammy too. Look at that. Somebody in the house is gonna get a freebie. Ooh, you know what that means. Hey, Topaz, you know what that means? Let's do this. You know what happens when this happens. There's a serious, genuine possibility that there could be some silent supporters out there. That's what they were christened, the silent supporters. Other terminology were the lurkers, I don't know, just the watchers, the people who watch but never check in. Especially if you're new and you've never ever done this before. Look at that. Okay? Topaz Zen. Wants one for herself, and it's a double duty here, and I just want to make sure. And it says here, a general reading for me +1. Okay, so the way I'm going to interpret that, +1, that's going to leave a blank, open, magic post-it note for some lucky ucker. Okay? Hey, wait a minute, someone else just showed up. Jeanette. So there's going to be a blank one over here, thanks to Topaz Zen. So I'm going to put TZ over here. Now this, okay, this magic post-it note is going to go on offer to any newbies, anyone who's out there, complete stranger who's never done this before, and you're absolutely terrified. You're starting to think, oh my gosh, you guys are so weird. Tarot readings live online mixed with astrology. Uh-oh. On the other hand, what are you doing here? Okay? So, if any of you are out there, the first person who types into the screen and they are identified and certified as being a complete utter newbie because no one else on the show recognizes them, then you will get a magic reading from Terra Lumination thanks to Topaz Zen. Topaz has done this before. All right, so the invitation is going out right now. It is 9:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 6:30 p.m. on the West Coast, okay? So I'm just putting it out there. You guys keep chatting amongst yourselves. I know you've got stories to tell. It's been a while. Got to catch up on things, okay? Nikki. Group or newbie? Okay, let's start piling it up for a group. That's a good idea, Nikki. I forgot about that completely. I'll put this in for the group, okay? G. I'll put a big G over here and I'll stick it on this side of the screen. We've got one lined up. I know, there must be, I have a feeling whoever is out there who's never done this before, I'm watching the screen. I'm keeping a little bit of an eye on the chat while we're doing this because I'm curious about any complete utter newbies. Any newbies? Jeanette, hold on. I got to sign in Jeanette. Excellent. Excellent. Hello, Jeanette. Thank you, Jeanette. Oh, I put two N's. I'll put the T-T-E. Jeanette Robbins. There you go. Got it. Got it. Greetings. So Jeanette Robbins is in the house. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your generosity. This is absolutely wonderful. It really, every super chat counts, as you know. You know. Hey, Path, you have been renamed Pathfinder. You're the Pathfinder for people, that's for sure. You're a very good Pathfinder. How does it feel to be named after a truck? Sorry about that. I couldn't resist. In case anybody wants to know, Love Triber has the most elaborate ornamental Xmas tree that I have ever observed. Okay? So there you know. There you go. Now, let's go back. I want to go back again. Hey, Giggle! What's going on? I see you. Good evening to you, too. Giggle Glimmer's in the house. You know who I'm missing? Mr. Funny Guy over in Berlin, Germany. You know? You know who we're talking about. Getty. Getty, are you out there? Probably not. It's probably like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning for Getty. Yep, blazing new paths from Pathfinder in her new pickup truck. Yeah. Okay, let's get it correct. It is actually Path Traveler, people. It's Path Traveler. Yep. Nikki. Yep, I see you. Okay, let me put this back to the other page in case someone else shows up. You see? You kind of have, I don't know if you guys can do this on your side, but I have a function where I can scroll back and forth through the chat to check things in case I missed people. And it looks like I'm keeping up pretty well with the arrivals this evening. And some of you would just be arriving and just checking in to see who's here. So if you're not sure who's here, if you can, there's a way that you can scroll back through the chat to see who else is here, okay? Oh, Jeanette, what do you have in mind? If you've, I'm open to suggestions. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but if it's something fun and different, I'm up for that. If I can handle it, if I think I can. I reserve the right to not do it. Maybe it's something to do with all the members. I don't know. Very interesting. Okay. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, I'm going to try not to overdo it. I know what you're saying. I really shouldn't, because sometimes the next day after, when I do Sunday Night Lives on the Mondays, it's usually I'm completely wiped out. I know it just seems like it's like a fun, like wacky show for a few hours, but it's absolutely It takes me up into outer space, and then I have to come back, and it's like, you go through decompression, like astronauts do when they come back down on Earth. Oh. Jeanette, okay. If anybody, Jeanette wants to do something fun and new and different tonight. I haven't thought about anything in particular. I'm just glad to have the show at all and that we're going to do it. But if anybody has some kind of wacky idea for something that we've never done before, that is actually technically possible to do on the channel, and you're not shy about telling me what it is, and you think it might be doable and it might be fun and we could share, please type it in on the screen. I'm not going to promise anything. Yeah. Okay, Jeanette is saying, remember when you did mini readings asking random questions? Oh, are you talking about when, I'd ask like, who was born with the moon in Aquarius, for example? And they might get one. They might get one of these. Aha. Now that's an idea. There's so many things that I don't do anymore that I haven't done because the channel is what it is now, and there's a lot of things that just don't make sense anymore. It makes me really sad. There's a lot of things that have been stopped on the channel and I can't control it. I used to love doing the lotteries, okay? That's a good idea, Jeanette. That's actually a really good idea. Tina, hold on. Tina Miller's in the house over there in New Mexico. All right, we could do that. Let's just do that for kicks tonight, all right? For example, the reason I'm asking is because Topaz Inn put in a double duty super chat, one for herself and one for somebody else. Okay. Now, in theory, I could allocate that towards the group reading, but I love to give away freebies now and again when I can. Ivona, you're born with the moon in Aquarius. Uh-huh. Well, there you go. What? What's that? Hi. All right. Oh, yeah. Not everybody knows their transits. That's interesting. Ivona was born with the moon in Aquarius, okay? Yeah, Pat, that's a good idea. I'll do that for people. 555 oracles, yeah. Giggle has no clue. Not an effing clue. It's okay. It's okay. That would be a fun thing to do, wouldn't it? Just to pull out Giggle Glimmer's transits and, the charts and all that. Here's the thing is, I'm already thinking, like, why don't we just give this to Ivona anyway? Because I kind of did this random who was born with the moon in Aquarius thing, and Ivona was picked up on that very quickly. Oh, I was born with the moon in Aquarius, and so that would fit here, Another reason I'm thinking of offering this to Ivona is because we didn't have any newbies log in or type in, go screaming, hey, I want a free reading. Hey, I want a free reading. I'm a newbie. I'm a first timer forever. I would love to take you off on your offer of a completely free reading to get hazed, and I'm willing to get hazed in the process. Well, guess what? None of that happened. Okay? Now, if somebody does show up, we'll think about it, okay? Giggle was born with Venus in chocolate. Okay, the 13th sign. Ah, you're talking about the 13th sign. Yes. Ooh, yeah. All right, Path wants an oracle for Gaia deck. All right, why not? All right, let's just do that for kicks. Gaia. Okay, a one-card wonder. Fantastic. Yes, you heard chocolate. Okay? Yeah, Tina, we're on that borderline now where Jupiter is diving into Capricorn. Da 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 da. First of all, I don't want to set myself up for too much trouble. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 readings to do, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle much tonight, so I have to be very careful. Okay, I don't want to set myself up for a total burnout, and I'm useless on Monday. I can't handle it. So yes, chocolate is the 13th sign. Yes. Hey Jeanette, we'll figure this out. Okay, we'll do it another time maybe. I'm not clicking tonight right now because I'm already hearing Jackie Shawn saying like, chill, cool it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the group reading, okay? Okay. Oh, Jeanette. Oh, okay. I'll do that. I will just do that for you. Somebody called me the Mr. Rogers of Tarot. That was a while back, but I remember it and it stuck with me. And all of a sudden, I've been seeing posters all over Los Angeles about Tom Hanks playing this movie. It looks like it's about Mr. Rogers. I don't know anything about Mr. Rogers. I know he was kind of like a cult hero for families and kids or something, but that's all I know. And he had a TV show. That's all I know. So please, okay, I'll do it. Okay, here we go. So there, here I am. I'm back. This is Tarot Lumination in the flesh. See, that's real. This is all real. You know? This is all real. Everything, all the bits and pieces are connected. I'm actually live at this very moment. If I look a bit wasted and burned out, it's because I am. Yeah. But I'm recovering. I'm on a lot of medications, and they're starting to work. And so I thought, screw it. I'm not just going to sit around here, you know, wallowing in self-pity, which I love to do. I decided I'm going to get up and do something against the doctor's orders. So there you go. And here we are. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Topaz. Hello, Jeanette. Thank you very much. All right. All right. So, let's get back. Oh, JGF was out walking the dogs, coming back. Okay. Hold on. Frittily. I didn't see... Did I say... Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Stay there, Frittily. I know I didn't check you in. I know. Okay. Wait a minute. I know I didn't. No, I know for a fact that I didn't. Frutili's in the house, people. I'm glad I'm back too. I'm only like partially back. I'm feeling like I'm a little bit of, you know, a bit wobbly. Just a little bit wobbly. Yeah, but seriously, I miss the action, people. Now that we've started this whole thing and we do almost everything I do now is live stuff. Like, it's so miserable doing, you know, recordings and posting them up there. Yes, I have absolute control and it's totally private, and then I just post it and then I just wait to see what happens. But it's miserable. It's a lonely experience. I like doing this stuff with you guys. It's much more fun, and we can still do more or less the same thing. All that happened is I just ran out of steam. I just had a complete burnout. I'm still burned out, but things will, you know, regenerate, be reborn. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me go back to the stage again. Hold on. So what we're going to do, since I've dropped quite a few hints tonight, about this particular post-it note. And right now, there are no complete utter newbies who have typed their names in to let them know they're here and that they would like to cash in on a hazing, okay, and get a reading. So I'm just going to put it over here to Ivona. Okay, so there you go. I know, Ivona, you're a very lucky person. You can thank Topaz. Ivona Kokolka. There you go. You're going to get a reading. Yeah, burnout. It's happening all over the place. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cheers, everybody. I'm going to go for a sip of my beverages. Yay. Man, gosh, I wish I had a nice big house and we could just do all this in person and I could fly you in all on the Lumination jet. And we would just do a loop every week. We would fly all over the world, pick everybody up. We'd have a nice convention and we would just go live right there and then we would film it all. If you're happy and you giggle limit, you're a newbie. Oh, ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha, I see that, yeah. So Ivona, you're the lucky one. You're a lucky one because you were very, very sharp. You picked up very, very quickly. You were very, very sharp, Ivona, because it all started from Jeanette saying, hey, could we do something fun and different and new? Well, I've tried a lot of things. Some things didn't work. And then she said something about like random questions, and I kind of got, what? And I thought maybe we're talking about like transits, like who was born like, with, Jupiter and Sagittarius or something. And then somebody would go, oh, that's me. And then they would get a reading, a little mini reading or something. But I said just randomly because right now, as far as I know, the moon is in Aquarius. So I said, well, for example, what happens if I just called out someone who was born with the moon in Aquarius? And, Jeanette and I were just kind of joking through, and then all of a sudden, Ivona picks up on that. Hey, I was born with moon in Aquarius. Huh. And so I kept thinking now, that was quick. That was like synchronicity. So that's why we're doing it this way, okay? There you go. Those free readings are very valuable, They're very, very special. When somebody does that on the channel and they pay it forward and somebody gets a free reading, that's like the jackpot. It's like going to Las Vegas and all of a sudden you hit 777. Ka-ching! Yeah. Yeah. So, Ivona, why don't we do this? You go off and make your crepes. Have a nice feast, cover them in syrup or chocolate or little bits of diced, I don't know what you put in them, Gruyere cheese or something, or Parmesan with herb. I don't know what you put in them, but when you're finished with your crepes, come back and type it in and let us know, and eventually we'll get to your reading without distractions. We don't want any distractions from while you're eating or cooking your crepes, okay? Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm just checking the chat, people. It's fun. It's fun to hang out and see you guys typing away. Yeah. Yeah. So Jeanette, I don't know if you got the Lumination address, but you're actually really helping me to get kind of back in the groove, because I used to do a lot of different things on the channel. We do lucky draws, okay, for members. We did lucky draws for non-members. We used to do lucky dips, where lucky tickets. People would buy tickets like for $3 or something, and if I sold 30 tickets, then the winner would get a full-on private reading. Now, I'm still willing to do that, but it's very difficult for me to offer that. Because I did it professionally. I thought I was doing it professionally through a proper ticketing company, and then the ticketing company shut the event down because they said I was breaking the law, the gaming laws, the federal gaming laws. It's like, doesn't matter, whatever Terra Lumination does, wherever we go, it's always, there's something like, wait a minute, what are you doing? I don't know. Some people said this channel is like a bit of a lightning rod. So just be careful in case you get sparked, people. I've been hit by lightning several times. Not directly, but I've been hiding inside a house. That's probably another story I should put on the story list. You know, story time thing. I haven't done story time in a long time. That would be fun. Lightning. Lightning is a big deal. Uh-oh, what's this hairball control? Ubasti's already deep into it with all the pets here tonight. You might as well take advantage, everybody. Any one of you who's got a pet tonight, it looks like Ubasti is on a roll. She is tuned in, people. Orange and brown, cats, fur, dogs. It'll be llamas and raccoons and gerbils. It could be anything, okay? See, it's happening live right now. Ubasti's actually in the zone doing live psychic pet readings, like by remote. That's so cool. The funny thing is that Ubasti really nails it. Ding, ding. Falcon. Oh, I've met Falcon. Everybody, I want you to know that I have met Falcon. Falcon is one of these like angelic beings that landed on Earth to give everybody a chance of what it's like to be happy. It's like the default setting, and it's very infectious. It's very contagious. You're welcome to explain to everybody, Path, because I don't want to give away a lot of personal life stuff here. But Falcon is an amazing creature. Yes, Falcon is not a bird, by the way. Falcon is a dog. And it barks. Okay. Ubasti working wonders. Every day. One pet at a time. One pet at a time. Woof, woof. Woof, woof. Yes. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Well, yes, Path Traveler, Terra Lumination has a reputation of actually sending people to sleep. That's part of the Terra Lumination healing and love and healing program. I'll just talk and talk and talk and talk, and eventually people just go. Okay, that's not very good for my personal self-esteem as someone who's trying to run a channel, but if it works for the viewer, why not? You know? There we go. So there. Now let's get started, people. We have a lot of work to do, okay? And I can't afford to burn out. Let's go back to the stage. All right, here we are. Let's just clear this up a little bit and let's get started. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Okay. It is Sunday night, the 1st of December in the United States. And we're doing this. It's been weeks and weeks since we've had a chance to hang out, and I haven't done any reports for December. I feel like kind of a derelict, but we're kind of back, so we'll see how things go. Now, Ubasti, I can't remember if you had any notes there. We're going to start with Ubasti, okay? I'm going to do a reading for Ubasti. I'm just going to use the most basic deck I have because it's bulletproof and I can't afford to mess up. As you can see, this is a very high mileage deck. but it is still going very, very strong. Okay, there we are. It's done literally thousands of readings, this little deck, and it's still going strong. And there's no reason why it shouldn't keep going. I just look after my decks pretty well. So, I know, Upasti, you're kind of in the zone of doing pet psychic stuff at the moment, but what I wanted to ask you is, if you have an issue, like, what do the cards have for me? What messages does Tarot Illumination have for me regarding the subject of ding? Oh, yay. No question, just whatever happens. Okay, we're going to go blind. Thank you, Upasti. It's a privilege. I love doing blind readings. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. Here we go. This is it. So, in the meantime, everyone else, chat amongst yourselves. And, for Ivona, if you're going to do your crepes, it sounds like you're already finished and you're already nibbling. It sounded delicious, by the way. What was it you had? Something with... Oh. Hold on. Where was it? What were you nibbling on? I missed it. Anyway, it sounds delicious. Crepes are different from pancakes. Crepes are thin, very, very thin. They don't have any bubbles. Yeah, Upasti, I know how you roll. Ignore that, please. Thank you very much. I'm kind of a bit on a high here because I'm actually in the company of people that I love. And I know you guys love Tarot Illumination, so it's like mutual. It feeds on itself. It's a monster. All right. It was beet soup, but there was something else with the crepes, herbs or something. It was like, parmesan, or what was it? Something else that went on the crepes themselves. Chicken chili. Basty's on a total roll tonight. Can you imagine what it must be like? Imagine if we could all do a live stream to the inside of Ubasti's brain and actually see what Upasti is seeing when this happens. I wish I could sometimes share with you guys what happens when I have, really like intimate interludes with my angels. It's quite something. It's very cinematic. All right, Upasti, cards are well shuffled. You're a witness. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, all this talk about food, man. It could be like this could be a food fetish channel. Food and tarot. Oh my gosh. Here we go. All right, Upasti, this is it. Here is the subject and the situation, okay? Here's the challenges with all of that, and here's how we're going to handle it. In the meantime, what is the weather like? I know you're over there on the East Coast, and it's probably quite chilly, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? So with the Four of Cups here, my feeling is that please do not take this card at face value. What I'm sensing here is that this is a very, very, like a big, fat, warm hug that's coming at you from your loved ones from the great beyond. And what can often happen with psychics and mediums, because I've worked with a lot of them, and just like myself, I had my own burnout recently, and then I had to get a lot of tender loving care from loving people, and then I had to start doing my own tender loving care on myself, using my regular doctors and self-healing. And sometimes you don't know you're burned out until you're burned out. And so what I'm sensing over here is that this is almost like, it's almost like you're, to me, okay, what I'm sensing here is that your invisible friends are very, very close to you. And they're trying to give you a message that you are deeply loved from the other side. But it's early days, okay? My feeling like it's like early days for you, Ubasti. And because of your skills with animals and being a pet psychic, it's almost like that famous American person. Her name is Temple Grandin, okay? Let me show you something. I'm going to put this name here on the screen quickly for you. This is for you, Ubasti. I'd love to ask you to do some research on Temple Grandin. If you Google Temple Grandin and maybe watch the movie about her, okay? It's an epic, an amazing story. And I have a feeling what's happening here on this reading is that the reading is telling you that you have a little bit of the Temple Grandin inside of you. And it's a very valuable gift to the animal kingdom. And there's something that it needs to be, like wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, you need to think long term about who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it, and why you've had such tumultuous experiences becoming tuned into the animal kingdom and becoming more or less like a professional pet psychic, okay? So what I'm asking here is you have a look at this, okay? Temple Grandin. And what I'm feeling is that because it's such a unique type of life to live. If you don't know the story of Temple Grandin, please research it. And once you know the story of Temple Grandin, then you'll understand why I'm sensing this energy for you here. Where Temple Grandin is very much about being a savior for animals, okay? She doesn't try and stop people from eating meat or hurting animals or anything like that. People are what they are. Animals are what they are, but her gift was being an intermediary between the animal world and the human world, okay? And that's what this card is telling you that you need to know. And sometimes you might feel very frustrated that you can't get the message across in the purity and the depth that you would like. But there's no rush, okay? I see this as a lifelong thing for you here. And you're being heavily supported by your invisible friends who want to make sure that they're not yelling at you, but they want you to know that, hey, Basti, we're here. We really, really are. You've got these great connections with the animals and everything, but don't forget about us. We're also in the same frequencies here, okay? Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. Now let's have a look at the situation. Okay, so with the King of Cups here, please don't think of the gender. What I'm sensing here is that you are, again, to me it feels like you've just, let's say, it's almost like this is very, very new energy for you. Even though you're probably a very old soul to be able to work with animals in the way that you do. And to be so highly specialized, because it's a very highly specialized skill. What I'm sensing here is that the situation is, number one, that it's like it's getting used to wearing the crown of being in such a highly esteemed and very specialized role, which requires a lot of sense of identity, where like the worst thing you could do is ever doubt yourself on your skills or your abilities or your reasons for being here on the planet, because it was the same thing for Temple. It was a very tumultuous childhood that she had until she finally came into her power and her strength and her purpose. And that's what I'm sensing here for you, is that it's almost like you're on a divine mission. You have a divine purpose for being here. and it's significant and it's important. It doesn't matter whether you're like rich and famous about this or not. On the other hand, it wouldn't surprise me, over the years, perhaps even many years from now, where you become highly recognized as a formidable character in the world of pet psychics and mediums. And it's earned the hard way. It's earned by simply showing up every day, putting on the heavy robes, the heavy garments, about taking on the very heavy responsibilities, about being a conduit between the animal world and the human world. It's very tough to do that in a very consistent way, in a way that could be turned into like a business model, for example. But it can be done. It does exist, okay? And so part of this feels to me like the situation is, please be aware that this is kind of some of the aura that you radiate, but it's also, please be aware that my feeling is you're probably not aware of the significance of this aura, but it's time to be that way. I know you're not a big show-off or anything, and it's not likely that you would abuse this power or this role, but I just want you to know that it's very difficult to do what you do and how you do it and to maintain your sovereignty of self. And so if ever you have any moments of self-doubt about who you are, what you're doing, or why you're doing it, please remember that you had this reading, and Tarot Lumination said, don't forget to look at yourself in the mirror and see this, okay? It's a level of mastery. It's a level of respect that you have worked for in other lifetimes to be this way now. Now, what's the problem with all of this? All right. So my feeling is with the Nine of Swords here, one of the challenges is that because you're so ultra hypersensitive, which is how you have to be in order to be the person that you are, it makes you very, very exposed to any form of stress, anxiety, and fear from any direction, anytime, anyhow, from anybody, from any animal. And that's one of the challenges about being psychically evolved. And Nikki, for example, I think is still here, and Nikki is heavily exposed to people's energies. And it's extremely difficult sometimes to distinguish the energies of like, oh, fear, anxiety, and like, I'm scared of this, or if you're feeling anxiety. So what I'm sensing here with the Nine of Swords is that for you, Ubasti, one of your challenges is being able to discern the source of stress that you might feel at any given moment in time. Is it coming from an animal with whom you're connecting? Is it coming from a person who has really very little relevance to your life, but they're still stressing out? Is it coming from you because you're stressing out about your personal life or something? What is it? And so this becomes an issue of definition. It's the definition, like what is the name of the stress? What are the names of the different stress factors that are coming at you, so that you don't become overwhelmed by this when you keep yourself like tuned in and turned on to being who you are. Because when you're operating at these levels and being the person that you are, you're just, by definition, you're heavily exposed to contamination. A lot of contamination, like the contamination from an abused animal, the contamination from an angry, abusive owner, the contamination from people in your personal life who are really stressed and freaking out, and somehow or other it lands on you. Either way, it's contamination, okay? So that's a problem. So how do we deal with that? Okay, in a way it's kind of simple. It's almost like having to be, because this, to me, this is very extreme, and it's partly because being the person that you are, which is statistically rare, or statistically very rare, how do you deal with this? Because it's not as though you're going to have, like, it's not as though you're going to go to the the Las Vegas Convention of International Psychic Pets and Psychic Pet Mediums, and then thousands and thousands of people from all over the planet show up. That's not going to happen. And then you can share your stories with thousands of other professional psychic pet mediums. That's not going to happen. You're in a very isolated, highly specialized field. And so where do you go? And the answer is, well, you don't really go anywhere. You walk away. What happens is, like when you're suffering from extreme self-doubt, the chances are very high that it's not because of who you are. It's because of contamination from other exterior sources. And so then you end up in this really kind of ruthless situation where you have to walk away from anything and everything that like feels very toxic or contaminating towards you. And being very compassionate by nature to be able to do this, it's very, very hard. In other words, how do you protect yourself from all the contamination and maintain your integrity and your authority and your sovereignty and your dignity in a field that is very demanding without pissing people off, But that's what you might have to do. You have to consider pissing people off and walking away from anything and everything that does not constitute a loving vibrational frequency. Okay? The healing vibration of love. Okay? The healing vibrations. Okay? I might have to play that song again. But you don't have to explain why. It's just that to me it looks like it's something you're going to have to learn over a long period of time, how to walk away. Literally how to walk away from anything that is irrelevant to you. Since you're so likely to attract so many stressors of other people, other animals, in any way, shape, or form, you're going to have to learn how to be very discerning to find out which of the things are appropriate and relevant for you to tune into so that you can be the person that you are. And anything and everything that is not that, you have to walk away. So it means sometimes having to be a little bit maybe standoffish or rude or super hyper discriminating or very selective. And some people might not like that. They might accuse you of being like an elitist or a snob or very selfish or mean or something like that. But you're going to have to do what you have to do to protect and maintain the sovereignty in self, the sovereignty of self. I mean, you have to be like your own advocate here. You're going to have to be your own advocate because there are very few people who are going to advocate for you, okay? So I hope that makes sense, all right? It's kind of a big reading to come out of just 4 little cards, but the storyline for me over here is very clear. And I hope it makes sense to you, okay? Thank you, Ubasti. It's been a pleasure. Next, let's move on, people. We're going to go over here to Megastar. Now, Megastar is going to basically go for 2 mini readings. What I think I'm going to do is bang out something. Oh no, that's not the. Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot Robin. Sorry, I've got to go to. Let me do Robin. I knew there was something wacky going on here. Give me a second. I'm going to go back to Robin. Oh, my post-it notes are out of control. Because normally I have a different sticker up in this corner. Robin's Realms. Okay. So I'm going to do I'm going to try and do I don't know how I'm going to do this actually, Robin. Give me a second here. What I'm going to do, Robin, I'm going to actually do 2 spreads for you, but I'm going to go really quickly, and you're just going to have to follow along really fast, okay? I don't know what the messages are going to be or how it's going to come out, okay? All Sun groupie number 1. God. I wonder who that could be. I hope that's not you, All Sun, creating your own alter ego secondary channel called All Sun groupie number 1. Okay, so we'll focus on that, okay, Robin? Okay, both situations are dire and could be very tragic. I do not exaggerate. Okay, so let's have a look. We're going to do this. We're going to kind of bang these out, all right? So I'm glad you filled that in, okay? Oh my gosh, it feels good to be back. It really does. First of all, about the sun and the baby. Let's do this really quickly, okay? I don't want to torture you with an extended thing here. Here's the situation. This is about the sun and the baby, okay? Here's the situation. Here are the challenges. Here are how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the weather. Okay. So with the Chariot here, my feeling is that okay, because of your notes on here, it says both situations are dire. My feeling with the Chariot here is that the situation that's happening with your son and the baby is very catalytic. It's forcing people to take action and make very tough decisions, because it's almost like life-threatening. Like if someone, maybe doctors or the son or the little baby, it's like in a movie. What I'm sensing here, it's like in a movie, like in an emergency room where people gather around, and there are, let's say, a lot of implications with this situation with the son and the baby. Like, it's really bringing things into focus about certain people involved in the story, like the son and the mother and the baby. They're all 3 little characters here already, but then surrounding the son and the mother and the baby are, the supporting roles. And what's happening, I think, here is this situation, this dire situation with the son and the baby, is really bringing everybody's attention into acute focus. And in some ways, part of it is going to show people up for who they really are. And some of it might not be pretty, but also some of it might be really amazing, okay? And I don't know what that is, but it's very galvanizing. That's the word I'm looking for. The energy around this situation with the sun is very galvanizing. It's forcing people to, step up. The son, the mother, the baby. I mean, we're talking about the baby, even though the baby, as far as I understand from the notes, is still inside the womb, okay? All right, let's have a look. Here's the situation. Okay, well, this is a card of victory. So to me, it looks like there's an energy of wanting this to work out in a way that's good and wholesome for everybody, but especially for the son, and even more for the baby, okay? I don't know why it's so significant. I'm not sure why. It's like there's a lot riding on this situation, especially if it's very challenging. You don't have to tell us what it is, if there's some serious health matters or financial matters or cultural matters or whatever it might be. There's all sorts of things that can be very challenging when having babies. You could say very simply, the situation is looking optimistic, okay? So it might be very dire, but there's a chance of succeeding. There's a chance of victory here, especially if there's extremely high chances of failure, okay? If there's a potential for a lot of failure in the son-baby situation, okay? So be aware of that. Oh, it says no, baby is fine. The mother is the danger. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. But with this energy over here with the Chariot, something has to be done. This is, to me, it looks like it's a very, like, no nonsense, no messing around. You can't, like, be all, like, let's say, fake diplomatic about any of this. Something radical has to be done. Somebody in a situation, somebody has to take charge. Okay, let's have a look. What's the challenge here? Okay, well, with the Tower here, okay, there's obviously some kind of fear of breakdown, collapse, implosion, whatever it might be. I don't know the thing with the daughter, but with the mother, but if the mother is, let's say, either hysterical or let's say unhealthy in some way, not being a responsible, not being a good mother, and the fear of, let's say, like a really healthy situation happening has every chance of falling apart, okay, because of the mother being a danger, whether she's a danger to herself, a danger to the child, a danger to the father, a danger to the whole situation, okay? And it's almost like with this much energy, she could destroy everything. She could just ruin everything for everybody. So how do you deal with that? Okay, well, back to the Wands here. So my feeling is with the Five of Wands, again, going back to the very beginning, is that the way to handle the situation is that there is no room anymore for what I would call diplomacy or any kind of trying to, fudge things to make things work. Somebody has to take charge and make radical, life-changing decisions in order to, I don't know, I guess, like, protect the child, protect the father. And even if it might seem very, very harsh against the mother, I think the process, in other words, it's almost like galvanizing this thing is going to bring out the best. In other words, it could, even though it might be very cataclysmic, it's almost like you got to get rid of her, get her out of the picture in some way, shape, or form, and either, I don't know, it almost feels like, to me, it almost feels like strap her up, put her in an institution, or make sure that she does not have direct access to the baby or the child, something like that. But it requires behaving in a very active, responsible, very noble, very, very dynamic, very take charge way, okay? Which might not be how you, Robin, would want to behave, or the son would want to behave, or the doctors or anybody would want to behave, but somebody has to take charge here. Somebody has to intervene. It almost feels like there's an intervention that has to happen here. Something really powerful, and it's challenging, but it's going to bring the best out. It's going to ultimately bring the best outcome. Okay, let's move on very quickly. I'm trying to do this super fast because it's a 2-for-1, okay? I hope that made sense, Robin. I hope we can save the day here. Okay, this is about the stepdaughter and the surgery, okay? Robin, someone has to intervene. There has to be an intervention. Somebody's going to have to really take some very bold, radical moves. Okay? Excuse me. All right, here we go. Let's cut this up. What about the stepdaughter and her surgery? Here's the situation. Here's the challenge. Here's how we're going to handle it. Okay? Let's have a look at the weather here. Okay, to me it feels like it's kind of a awkward thing, almost like a touch and go thing, where everybody's doing what they can. The doctors are doing what they can. And you're doing what you can. And it's all happening in a very, to me it feels like a very loving, harmonious way. In other words, you can't do anything more than what's being done already. And sometimes in physical three-dimensional reality, when you have someone going into surgery, there's a reason to go into surgery. I mean, it's a very big deal. I mean, people pass it off like it's not a big deal anymore. But when you go into surgery, someone's cutting into your body. And today we can do it more effectively because we have things like anesthetics and antibiotics, which makes the process much more likely that the patient will survive. But there was a time like 100, 150 years ago, 200 years ago, surgery was like, there was a very high chance you would just die simply from the surgery, from infections or whatever. But my feeling here is that everything's coming together in a way that is, let's say, practical and effective, and things are going to work out the way they have to work out. To me, it feels like she's going to receive the best care possible, and that's all anybody can hope for or expect. Let's have a look. What's the situation? Okay, so I don't know if you have a lot of feelings for your stepdaughter, okay, Robin's Realms, but if you're really scared about her welfare, that could be what's going on here. If you're really scared about losing her and you're already in a state of grief before it's even happened, okay, that would be understandable. Okay, what's the problem with all of this? Okay, it feels to me like with the Five of Swords, part of this is like it might be one of those situations where this never had to happen in the first place. Like if somebody somewhere, like other doctors earlier in this person's life, in the stepdaughter's life, if people had done their job earlier, then maybe this surgery wouldn't have to happen. Also, it also feels to me as though there's a fear that there's a lot of hidden resentment and bitterness and anger and unresolved conflicts that have not been dealt with, and now that we're in a state of surgery, it could leave you, Robin, feeling like there would be like a lot of leftover karma stuff that has not been solved or resolved, and then you would be left with a very sort of tragic situation. Like what happens, like for example, if you lose the daughter through surgery, then there's an awful lot of unresolved like leftovers that like it has to be dealt with in another lifetime. It's really painful. Okay, one kidney left with cancer in it. Okay, so sadly, that's a very tragic situation. Robin, you probably are aware that the chances of a good outcome with that are very small. I don't want to, deflate your hope or anything like that. But when you've got one kidney and it's cancerous, that's very hard to deal with in any situation. So it looks to me like you're already feeling the grief of loss in advance and the grief of not being able to heal and resolve all the things that led up to this situation, life path issues, why this had to happen in the first place, all the bitterness and anger that comes with such tragedy. And like there's no way to fix it, because there's no way to fix it. because having one kidney and that kidney is cancerous, it's almost like a hopeless situation, and this card is kind of an energy of hopelessness anyway. Now, how are we going to deal with this? Let's have a look. Okay, well, with the Four of Swords here, my feeling is that the most loving thing that anyone can do, and you, Robin, perhaps with everybody else, is that you take everybody who's involved over here, who's already doing their best, or already wishes they could have done more, and anyone else in your circle and family who is grieving, and not worry so much about unresolved conflicts and issues that will never be fixed or solved or understood in this lifetime. I think what's most important here is to it's like have this, basically switch off. It's like, consider the idea of, like, this is going to sound really awful, Robin, but like pulling the plug, accepting that there's not much that can be done despite all the best efforts and kindness and generosity you can imagine. And then what you do is you pray for peace. You pray for healing. Maybe you pray for a miracle healing. Maybe there will be a miracle healing. It is possible things like this do happen, miraculous healings. Maybe the cancer will be miraculously healed. What I would suggest, I can't do it directly tonight, but there is an energy healer. He is the husband of Mona Berknes. And it might be an idea if you guys could connect with, his name is Oystein, and ask for some distance healing in this situation. So I'm going to put a note here for you, Robin's Realms Readings. RRR. Let's follow up on this. You might remember the name, Mona Berknes. Okay. Mona, she comes on the channel quite a lot. She's not here today, I don't think. But her husband is an energy distance healer, and he's looking to offer healing services to people in very dire situations because it's part of his accreditation, and his husband's name is Oystein. And it might be very useful to have an intervention, like right now, get something involved here, and get some distance energy healing. I'm not saying he's going to cure her or get rid of the cancer, but it can really be a very, very healthy, useful thing to have, like, energy healing in a situation like this, okay? All right? So let's follow up on this, Robin, okay? Follow up with me later on. So that's for you, Robin. I hope that makes sense. You've got a lot on your plate, Robin. It's a lot to handle. So, I'm serious, Robin. Follow up with me. Do the email thing. Check in, and we'll see if we can set you up with an introduction to get some distance healing, energy healing, vibrational energy healing from Oystein, okay? Once you tell him the story, once he understands what's going on, it'll be really helpful, okay? Megastar, you're up. Megastar. So we're looking at real estate. We're looking at real estate. Ooh. Hey, wait a minute. I just saw Taylor Swift. Hey, where are you? I just saw you there somewhere. There you are. Hey, thanks for... I hear you on the radio now and again. It's really cool. Shake It Off. I love that song, Shake It Off. I want to let you know, dear Taylor, a lot of my own personal self-healing modalities are based on shaking. Okay? I'd love to show you my healing practices, my self-healing practices. They're really strong. They're very effective. I know you would relate. I saw your video, I think, when you were on the top of that skyscraper in New York, shaking it off. Anyway, let's keep going. Hold on, let's go over here. Hey, there you are, I see you. I have to tell you, Taylor, before I met my sweetheart, I have a friend, Ben, and he's in the music business. Not so much anymore, but he was convinced that you were my sweetheart. And that somehow or other we would meet, and here you are. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Okay. Good night, Ubasti. Yeah, watch the movie. Okay, so Megastar. The reality is, like, houses can be bought and sold any time of the year. And I'm sure there are cycles and waves, and I know there are a lot of businesses that go absolutely berserk crazy at this time of the year, but other businesses slump at this time of the year. But what does that matter? You know, things are the way they are, okay? So let's have a look, Megastar. First of all, I need another sip. By the way, Taylor Swift, I used to try to be a pop. I almost made it as a pop star. I really did. I even had a modest little hit record in Europe long, long ago as a kid. And then I had a lot of unending disaster stories, so I never quite made it. But the reason I can relate to you so well is because you're a pop star, and I have a pop star in my DNA, even though I'm not a rich and famous pop star. It's in my DNA. I'm just telling you. And I have Paul McCartney dreams, by the way. We're buddies. We're mates. Olsen is here. Yes. Olsen is here. You guys would probably get along pretty well. Let's have a look. So, Megastar, chances about selling the house this month. Okay, that's kind of like a bit of fortune telling here, but let's look at it from the bigger perspective. What is the messages that are coming to Megastar about selling her house? Yes, Taylor, I will play Hey-O for you. In fact, I've got to do... Hold on, let me think about this. I'm going pretty slowly, as you can tell, everybody. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 readings to do. So I think, you know what? That's a good chance to have a break. I know you're a Sag. I know you're a Sag. I actually get on quite well with Sages. Alright, so I'm going to play that song for you right now because you asked and I have a little bit of a crush on you, and that's okay. I'm allowed to. It doesn't mess up my personal life. Everybody has crushes on rich and famous people. It's perfectly normal. Alright, so I'm going to play the song. There we go. I'm going to play it now. Here we go. Hold on to your hats, people. Hold on, I'm going to start again. So this is the song. It's like... Hold on. This is a song, like Laura likes to call it, the pirate dance. This is where you cross your arms. I'll show you. Okay? See if I can do this. This is one of those songs where you stand up kind of like this, and you do this pirate dance with your feet, and you kick your feet in and out, like the Cossack dancers, you know. Of course, when Terra Lumination does it, remember, I did this in drag. I can do this, people. I wrote this song. I am the person who wrote this song, so you have to listen to the lyrics very carefully. But I wrote it from the perspective of the woman, the empowered woman, and some of the challenges of being the empowered woman and coming into their power. Okay? You have to listen to the words very carefully. It's all about the healing. It's all about the healing power of love. Ultimately, love is the word. And I don't want to dwell on the female energy thing because, I mean, I could talk about that for hours. Let's just get on and enjoy the song, and the song will speak for itself. How about that? It goes like this. All right, let me see if I can cue it up properly for you. Oh, wait a minute, no. We're supposed to play the Hey Oh song. I'm sorry, I got the wrong song there. Stay there, Taylor. Don't go away. Don't go away. Get your dancing shoes on. Get your fanciest gear on, and we'll do this properly. I'm going to my playlist and pull out the Hey Oh song, okay, just for you. And it goes like this. Yay. I'm so glad you're here, Taylor. I love doing this for you.
It was one of those days where everything goes wrong. My hair fell out, my heel broke off, I slept through my alarm. I missed the bus to night school, my stalker walked me home. I sprayed his face with mace and then he left me all alone. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. A lot of my relationships, they end up in the ditch. So I'm getting counseling for being an uncontrollable bitch. The doctor's pills he gave me, they make me trip and fall. So if you are the man you say you are, you love me flaws and all. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. Massages and pedicures are great but not solutions. The pets, the bags, the fancy racks are empty substitutions. What I really need is a man who throws me over his shoulder, takes me naked in the ocean, loving me when I'm older. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. Getting tattoos on my ass and up and down my arms could get me into trouble, leaving me rejected. Then again, pretending I'm so pure and acting all demure is no guarantee that I will be accepted. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. Hey, we're gonna go out tonight. We're gonna dance the stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you.
Wow. That was actually quite invigorating. That was quite fun. It's funny when, because I like to write songs. I'm actually much better as a songwriter than I am as a pop star. I never had that sort of glowing aura in the way that pop stars do, I don't think. Because I was so consumed with the craft. I liked the craft of making pop songs and being in recording studios. And then when you go on stage, I felt like my job was just to perform the songs. And it's really more than that. Like when you're pop stars, you have to create this. It's like there's no difference between you and the audience and you. You become one thing, and it becomes this amazing glowing orb. I think Taylor would understand that. Taylor is actually a glowing disco ball of love. She's actually a living example of a glowing disco ball of love. She just creates a lot of fun and entertainment and happiness for a lot of people. Okay? I just saw your note there, Laura. Look at that. It says, hey, that should be your new title of your new song, Taylor. I don't do aliens. That's good. That should be a warning for all of us. Yeah. 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 Ah, yeah. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks for hanging out. Let's go to work, people. All right, Megastar. Let's have a look. I don't do aliens. Sorry. No, I don't do aliens. Nope, that's it. Sorry. Nope. Okay, let's get back to doing something serious here. Oh, that is serious. What we do here is always serious. Everything we do here is serious. Pop music, dancing, tarot, astrology, psychic readings, pet readings. It's funny, really, on the channel how we get into such very heavy, deep readings, and we don't let it bug us. We're not sitting here like, you know, moaning and groaning, and we actually deal with it. We actually deal with it. It's like when I do personal readings and things, some of the stuff that comes across the desk here is very heavy, okay? But we deal with it. We deal with it, okay? A lot of stuff, that's okay, Taylor. You're my pleasure. No, you're fabulous too. You're truly fabulous. Truly, truly fabulous. Oops, excuse me. It's a bit of a mess. I don't do jumpers and flyers and all that. You know, Taylor, I just had this funny thought. You know, being a rich and famous pop star, you're kind of always in the light, and it'll probably never dim. Let's say in 5 or 10 years from now, you kind of go through these like serious phases, and then you get married or whatever, and you know the spotlight fades away. But then, you know, a decade later, you come back and like, oh my God, you're the mother of somebody. Can you imagine? So I mean, it would be just like a, I don't know. It doesn't always work out, but. It's like sometimes you do get these rare situations where you do have these celebrity pop star type lives where it isn't full of like perversion and sick weirdo drama and alcohol and drugs. It's actually fun. And you can get situations where you have the children of megastars who are actually not that messed up. They're aware that they are blessed with good fortune. What I'm trying to say here, basically, Taylor, is just like, imagine you got pregnant and you had a little kid. Can you imagine what it would be like being that little kid, being the kid of Taylor Swift? Just imagine the life you're born into. It would just be like an amazing movie. And my guess is that the child would not be all messed up with drugs and alcohol 15 to 20 years later. It would be just one of these kids who just actually just handles it. And like, oh yeah, I know. Yeah, like my mom was, you know, you're talking about, you know, years and years from now. And then the kid turns into an adult, and they've been through school and everything, like, oh, you're the kid of Taylor Swift, don't you? And then eventually the kid grows up and it's just like, yeah, so what? It's all right. I had a fantastic childhood. I had a fabulous life. My mom's amazing. Fantastic. So what do I do with that? I don't know. I'm me. She's her. I'm me. Okay? It's one of those things. I get the feeling that you would have a kid who would have their own identity, and they wouldn't be consumed or overshadowed by your light or anything like that. They would just be a kid. They would be a nice person. There you go. I just had to get that off my chest. I don't know why I got onto that subject just now. I wonder if Taylor's actually thinking of having babies. Anyway, let's have a look. Megastar, what's going on with the property here? When you put a ticking clock on a tarot reading, it gets to be high pressure, okay? Like, for example, if you feel that you have to sell the house this month, but it doesn't actually happen, you could end up very, very stressed, okay? Like, if you want to sell the house this month, that's a different thing. Having to sell it and wanting to sell it is a different thing. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look. What's the conditions surrounding this? What are the planets, the transits, the weather? Okay. Well, with the Six of Swords here, my feeling is, Megastar, you've already moved on. It's almost like the house is already sold in your brain, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And you're already just thinking like, you know, I just want to get on with it. It feels to me like you just want to release yourself from this whole thing, sell and move on. Okay? Maybe downsizing, maybe, you know, looking forward to a simpler life. You know, like some people, they cash out on property or something, or they decide, I'm sick of being tied up with huge responsibilities of home ownership and mortgages and taxes and all the utilities, the gas, electric, the internet, the sewage, the trash, the water, the landscaping, all the huge costs and overheads that come with being a homeowner. Okay, so what I'm sensing here is that it's like, I just saw your note there, Megastar. I am laughing TL. I want to sell it. It looks to me like, yeah, I seriously want to get out of this. I just want to sell it and move on. I want to sell it. I want to move on. It's almost like, I'm sure you've heard the word downsizing. It's kind of like a hip, cool word now. The other hip, cool word is like disruptor. Being a disruptor, having a disruptive industry, being a disruptor hacker or something like that. My feeling is that it's almost like I would just so love to sell this house and just simplify my life, radically simplify, reduce, take only the things that you truly need and want with you. Sometimes it's actually better off not to own a home. Sometimes you're better off living out of a suitcase and a backpack and a laptop and giving yourself the freedom. Like you can rent spaces, or you could become a tenant somewhere, and like on a month-to-month basis. And like, if I don't like this, I don't like that, you know, you just move on. You know, sometimes there's I know you're not investing, you're not let's say building equity when you don't own a home, but you have to understand, in the United States there are a lot of situations with being a homeowner where it is a bottomless, tortured money pit, and it becomes the worst decision some people have ever made, is to buy a home. And especially with market prices and things like that. So you have to be careful. Like, we all want a home. A lot of us would love to own our own homes, but sometimes it doesn't work out. So let's have a look. What's the situation? Well, with the Ace of Swords here, it's just like, bring it on, people. I want a new start, and I want a new beginning, and I deserve it right now. Well, I think it's actually happening for you. I think it's like you've already moved on. It's almost like in terms of your spirit, you don't even live there anymore. You've already moved on. You're like looking for new horizons. The only reason that it's not happening is because the house actually hasn't technically sold yet. So to me, it looks like you're absolutely on the threshold here right now. So please understand, dear Megastar, it's already kind of happening right now. We've got this Sagittarius bubbling energy, you know, Sun in Sagittarius, and that's fine. But Jupiter is leaving Sagittarius and moving into Capricorn right now. So it's turning into a very different energy. And in January, like we have to live through the whole of December, but in January, there's just like this mega agglomeration of planets and energy in Capricorn on a historical scale that we haven't seen for hundreds of years. The nearest thing to it is 1776, but that was just Pluto in Sagittarius at this degree. When you add in Saturn and Jupiter, it's mega, okay? The Saturn-Pluto cycle is every 34 years. The Saturn-Pluto and the Jupiter-Pluto is much faster. But anyway, my personal feeling is let's not worry about this month. Maybe it might be really cool if you actually do sell it this month. Like if you really want to sell it and you're working through a professional system like real estate brokers and all of that kind of stuff, you might say, like, you know what, I just want to get rid of this thing. Just sell it. Now, does owning it and selling it stop you from having new starts? I don't think so. I think you can already hear with the situation, you can already start to plan new starts and new beginnings, whether you actually sell this month or not, okay? There's no point in holding back, okay? It's almost like you might as well just start making your moves now to your new life, whatever that is, your new starts and new beginnings, new attitudes, new beliefs, new knowledge, new awareness, all of that. Go for it anyway, but don't make it contingent upon having to sell your house this month, okay? There are ways that you can like expand and grow and start over without strapping yourself to the actual closing date of this house sale, okay? What's the challenges here? Okay, so with the Three of Wands, you knew this time was going to come. You knew this was happening. It's already happening, and it's going to happen, okay? Part of it, for me, feels like you're scared of what's going to happen. It's almost like, oh my God, what if I actually do sell it this month? And I am liberated, and I do get a chance to start this new life. Be careful what you wish for. Okay, so you have the Three of Wands here. My feeling is that there's part of you which is like, people can become deeply attached to property, even though it doesn't make any sense financially, because it feels like home. It's a place where you sleep, and you've got so much. When people own houses, they have titles or they have mortgages, or they're 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years into a mortgage, or whether they inherited a house and then they want to sell it. Either way, home ownership can be a massive burden. It can be for some people, it's the best thing in the world. But for some people, it can be a huge limitation, a huge burden. And so what I think is happening here with the realization is deep down, you're realizing the burdens of home ownership and realizing that there's a whole new life unfolding in front of you, which may not involve home ownership itself directly. Okay? So it's almost like maybe you don't even need to feel like you have to own another home after this. Maybe you can give yourself a time to like roam free and downsize and live in a much simpler way, at least for a little while, to give yourself a break and get used to being unshackled. How are we going to handle all this? With courage and with bravery and the understanding that everything is unfolding exactly as it should be. And why? Because it can't be any other way. And this is going to be good for you. It's almost like, let's not put a timestamp on the actual selling of the house. I'm sure it sounds like it from you, like, I would just love to sell this thing, and that would be great. So let's just wish and pray that it happens. I really do. I wish it happens for you. I hope it really does, because it looks like it would be very liberating for you and give you a chance for serious new starts and new beginnings. Now, with this card here, the Five of Wands, my feeling is like, if it doesn't actually technically sell this month and you don't do the paperwork, the contracts, the closing, it's just going to make you more motivated next year to get this thing done and out of the way. Let's just do this. Let's just do whatever we have to do to sell this house. It doesn't mean you just sell it at a fire sale price. It just means you either have to learn how to be extremely patient or very businesslike or very enduring. But it's going to bring out the best in you. It's going to bring out, like, it might be something that, like, the more pressure that it is to get this thing sold, it might make you feel like, it's, to me, the way this feels here is like it's actually bringing out what you need to know about yourself. Like, you might have been realizing, I've been dealing with being a homeowner for such and such a time, but the more, in other words, if you don't sell it this month, it's going to become even more evident and more important and more clear in your understanding about how you have to sell it and when and why you want to sell it. So it's going to bring out more and more clarity about what you're going to do after the deal is done and it's actually sold. So in other words, it sounds like I'm copping out in the reading here, but don't put a timestamp on the selling of it this month. It's almost like it might be an advantage if it doesn't sell this month, because like next year is going to be radically different, and it, like, you know, we got all these eclipses coming up, for example. Lots of new starts, new beginnings, new starts, new beginnings, irreversible, you know, evolutionary gateways. That's what I like to call them, evolutionary gateways. So I think that, like, December is kind of a build-up, because it's actually on the 26th of December where we have that first round of eclipses. In 2020, we have 6 eclipses, which is way off the charts above normal. And then when you actually add in the end of December, it's like 7. It's insane. It's out of control. So let's not put too much pressure to sell it this month. On the other hand, if you do, great. It looks like it would be very liberating. But if you don't, to me, it looks like it's going to be a chance for you to learn from the experience of having to wait about how really important and valuable it's going to be for you to have this new start and new beginning. It's almost like the more you wait, the more you realize how liberating it's going to be and how valuable, not valuable, but how rich it is going to be for you to be unburdened from this house. So I hope that helps you, Megastar. Megastar, what I was just feeling is that December, January, February are going to be really critical months, okay? For everybody, for the whole planet. So what I'm suggesting here is to release yourself, even no matter how much you want to sell it, take yourself off of the ticking clock. Get rid of the ticking clock feeling, okay? Just surrender to the process. I think what I'll do is I'll play the surrender song one soon or something. Surrender to the process. In other words, everything will sync up for you. And it might be challenging to wait for that moment of synchronicity, but 2020, starting from the very end of December, 2020 is going to be such a monumental transformational month for the whole planet. You might as well take advantage of the changes and the shifts in energy as anyone else, okay? And one of the best ways to do that is literally go with the flow. If you have set your intention to sell the house, then that's really all you need to do. Trust in the process. The house will sell when it sells. And all that's going to happen is that you're going to become more and more and more clear and more understanding about how liberating this can be for you, and then what you do from there. Okay? It's going to be a very defining month. It's so important to go with the flow regarding the calendar, okay? The actual physical experience of time. 6 eclipses in 2020. One starting over here at the very tippy end of December. That's a lot of eclipses. That's a lot of evolutionary gateways. Click, 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 click. It's like trying to crack a safe open. You have to do 7 notches before you get the safe open. Click, 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 click. And then things open up. So any one of those ecliptic moments could trigger the sale. I think the sale of the house will probably be closely aligned with the eclipses. Okay? Okay, I just saw your note. It's okay if I don't sell it. Hold on, I just saw that. It says here, I know it's okay if I don't sell it. I'm a bit impatient. It sounds like you just want to sell it, just so you can have a new life. You can start a new life. Okay? I get it. All right, next up, Topaz. Here we go. Let's have a look. What do we got coming up for you, Topaz? And then we've got Ivona, we've got Lucky, and then we got Path Traveler. Okay? And then we'll do a group reading. I hope I got enough momentum to do a group reading. I'm starting to wilt people, I have to tell you. All right, Topaz, I can't remember if you've had any issues or subjects, but what are the messages that we have for Topaz Zen tonight through Tarot Illumination regarding the subject of ... If you want to put anything in there, Topaz, about the ... I'd be happy to focus on that. Otherwise, I'll just give you a blind reading. Okay? I don't mind. Whichever you want. Here we go, Topaz. I see your name on the screen, yay. I don't see any particular notes, so I'm just going to go blind. I'll keep an eye on the screen. I'm going to have another little sip here. Hang out with you guys. Canada's in the house, people. General, you've got it. That's easy. Let's just do it. I'm going to cut it up again. Here we go. All right, Topaz. Did you hear me earlier, Topaz, when I think you first arrived? My feeling is that I've done a few readings for you before, and each one of them has been really tough. Like, it felt like I was coming down on you really tough. Like tough messages that... You know, it's great that we can do this, but sometimes I feel like, you know, I have certain members that tell me, like, don't hold back, TL. Just say what has to be said, okay? Sometimes I feel it's tough because sometimes I feel I'm delivering really tough messages. And of course I want everybody to be happy. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at this. Alright, let's have a look. What's that? Let's look at the notes. What notes? Hold on. Oh, she had a question. Where? Duh. Oh, wait a minute. What notes? All son, what notes? I can't. I don't know what you're talking about. Nikki's saying that TL, she had a question. Why didn't I write it down? I'm sure I would have written it down. Topaz, could you? This looks like everybody in the show is concerned that you get your proper reading. Okay. Well, I'm happy to do a general for you, but All Sun and Nikki were saying. Okay, personal. Okay, it's personal. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so it's like if you have a question or a subject or something of concern, if you could put it just in 2 or 3 words or something, that would help, because Nikki and All Sun and a few others are making it very clear on the screen that I have to acknowledge. Okay. No, it was general. Okay, all right, we're going to go for general. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's what we're going to do. Okay? Personal, general. Okay. Okay, so let's going to go big. We're going to go big. We're going to go wide. Okay? Okay, so with the Page of Swords here, my feeling is that it's like, Topaz, you're coming into a point of reckoning here, getting closer and closer to understanding yourself more than ever before. And I think some of this is related to previous readings that we've done here, where we have a consistent pattern of Tarot Illumination calling out subjects or themes that are or have been uncomfortable for you. And that's just how it's been. And you've never been recriminating or anything in return. You've just taken it as it is, like, oh gosh, wow, okay. And so that tells me it's a very humbling thing to get a really tough reading and then for the client to receive it gracefully. So what I'm sensing here is that it's almost like it's hard for me to describe this. It's almost like it's almost like this is weird. Okay, it's like your angels, your invisible friends, want you to know that every little microscopic layer of calling out the truth has been good for you, and they also understand that you get it, and that, like, this is what you want, this is what you need, and you know that it has been good for you. So in other words, there's no resentment here or anything like that. You understand the process. It's like you're still surrounded by the energy of truth-telling, truth-calling, and more of that is going to come to you. Like, whatever you need to know, it will come to you when you need to know it, not beforehand. Because sometimes, like, it's like, what's the point in trying to teach, calculus to a kid if they don't know how to do arithmetic or long division or geometry? It just doesn't work, okay? You have to go through in stages. So what I feel is happening here is that I'm not trying to, say you're a kid. What I'm trying to say is that the process of truth-telling is continuous. My feeling is it's almost like for life. It's like you're going to constantly be reaching like one threshold, maybe a big one or a little one, but constantly reaching thresholds where the truth is revealed. Okay? Now this might be very closely aligned to the eclipses over the next year. There's so many eclipses, and it's such a powerful year for transformation and changes and shifting, that my feeling is that the Page of Swords, it's almost like a message. It's like, dear Topaz Zen, be prepared for multiple like awakenings, multiple truth tellings, multiple situations where the truth will be revealed to you as you need to know, when you need to know it. Probably in alignment with the eclipses, okay? Like lots of little steps, okay? And that's part of your spiritual growth, your spiritual journey, your own personal evolution for you personally. No matter what else you do in the rest of the world. This is, to me, feels very personal. Okay, what's the situation? Okay, so with the Four of Pentacles here, my feeling is that you want to build something of substance and endurance and have greater stability in your life for the long term. Okay, it's like the energy of someone realizing like you have certain gifts, you have certain talents, and what am I going to do with that? It's like, to me, I'm feeling like the consolidation of talents, and it's almost like you're looking in the mirror, making a list of things like, I have this, and this, and that, and that, and that, and that. These are my talents and gifts and resources. What am I going to do with that? How am I going to optimize this for wealth, abundance, stability, and security for the long term? Just as though that you are somebody who is in a situation where you have a chance to build a life or rebuild a life or start something, and you've got all these resources that are out there available to you. Some of them might be liabilities. You have to understand, like when you're looking at a business or a project or something where you have to build it, you have to be aware of where are the pitfalls, what are the liabilities, where do I focus and channel all my resources so that they're not wasted, and how do I make sure that I don't put money, time, talent, energy, and resources into quicksand where it just, in other words, like when they're building a skyscraper, you want to make sure that the foundations are really, really solid. Okay, that's the only way I can describe this right now. So it's really important that you take your time and keep doing whatever you have to do. Be very, very patient of figuring out about how to lay the groundwork, lay the foundations for the long term. What are the challenges here? Okay, so with the King of Pentacles, my feeling is that the sense of material abundance, worldly significance, and having that, it's almost like having your own castle, having your own home, becoming a master of the material realm, becoming a master of manifestation, physicality, money, finances, business, resources. There's a deep fear that you don't have it, that you don't have those skills, and that you never ever will. Like, I'm never ever going to make it. I'm never going to make it. Oh no, oh no, oh no. But that fear can feed on itself and then just make the problem worse. So how are we going to deal with this? To me, it almost feels like you're kind of trapped, a little bit trapped in the world of highly specialized expectations. Like if you don't get your particular castle, your business, your home, your skyscraper, your project built in exactly the way you think it should be right now, then it's never going to happen at all. And it doesn't necessarily have to work that way, especially when I look again at 2020 coming up. it's going to require everybody, including you, to be very, very flexible and to stay very much in tune with the flow. Start over here, eclipse, 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 eclipse. And each time, you're probably going to have to reevaluate and recalibrate your value, your values, your business, your plans, your finances. Like, in other words, you make a plan and you realize, this sucks, it's just not going to work. I have to start again. And so you start gradually realizing a lot of things that don't work, and those are the truth of things that you need to know, which leaves you with the things that do work. So it's like a process of elimination. In other words, finding out, it's like when you do an evaluation, like a real estate appraisal or something like that, where when you're planning to build a business, you've got to find out, like, well, let's make sure, okay, I want to do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. But it also means if you do that, then you're not going to have any time, money, or resources to do that. So you have to learn and understand more about the difference between the two, because you don't want to just think you can have all that and do all that and all of this as well, because then you would be squandering resources and spreading yourself too thin. So how are we going to deal with this? Okay, number one, we come from the point of innocence, the place of innocence where we first admit, like, maybe you've never built your own business before. Maybe you've never built a castle or a skyscraper or started like a private enterprise in the way that you would like before. But you're in a lifetime now where this is something that you really want to do. It's yours, you know it, you deserve it, and you're scared that you won't have it. That's understandable. We're all scared to some degree that we're never going to make it. But if you think of it like a journey, then it doesn't have to be so, let's say, painful. In other words, there's nothing to indicate here that you can just suddenly manifest what you want, how you want it, and the way you want it, because you know you have certain gifts, talents, and resources available to you. Yes, you do have certain talents, gifts, resources available to you. The question is, how are you going to optimize that? How are you going to build on that? How are you going to create a structure around that? And having the enthusiasm of knowing that you've got the resources is one thing, but you can't afford to squander them. So you have to come in and admit that you might be coming in a bit innocent. And what you're going to have to do in order to move forward successfully is to trust in your passion about what you want to do and how you want to do it, and understand that Rome was not built in a day. You're not going to be able to just suddenly click and all your assets, talents, gifts, and resources are going to just suddenly turn into a massively successful operation. With all these pentacles here, it looks like a lot of Capricorn energy is going on, where it's the slow road, it's the doing one step at a time road, and making sure that you do not jump ahead of yourself. You do not take the next step until you've already secured the step that you're on, and you do not take the next step until you've closely examined what the next step looks like. Have you ever seen those videos of goats climbing up and down very, very steep mountain faces? They don't just go ba-ding, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. They go ba-ding. Let's say they're down here and they want to get up here. That's the Capricorn path, okay? Going from there to there. They don't just go, I'm a goat, I can make it. They struggle and they work hard. Okay, it's a real struggle to get from here to here. Okay, this is a goat. Okay, 4 legs and a head. Okay, it looks more like an elephant now, but so they know that sometimes they have to make very high risk leaps, and they don't make those jumps until they've got everything aligned. They examine the next step, and then they go doomph. Okay? And then they'll nudge forward very, very gently, very carefully to the next step, and sometimes they have to go doo-doomp. Okay? I highly recommend watching some videos about goats climbing mountains, or even more, goats coming down mountains. It's very precarious, either way. Okay. The good thing about this Page of Wands is that you've got energy, enthusiasm, innocence, almost like the innocence of youth on your side. Like it's very invigorating. In other words, don't give up. Just stay on path, do what you're doing. But when you're building a business, you want something that's going to last, okay? So you do it in little tiny steps at a time, no matter how frustrating, okay? I hope that helps you, Topaz. I hope that helps. Ivona. There we go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Just hold on a second. I got to check something on the channel. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm just fiddling with some knobs and buttons here. Give me a second. Topaz Zen, it says interesting. Yes. It's like that reading for you, Topaz Zen. To me, that was kind of like a mindset reading. It's about how to approach life and business for the long term in order to build structure and stability, personal finances, and all that stuff. Okay, Ivona's concerned about, what's that, work issues. Okay. All right. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Thanks, Topaz. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Put Path over here. Path is going to get an oracle. There's some very savvy people here, Topaz. Some very savvy people who are, really good at who they are and what they do. And for example, if Nikki says, "Go Topaz, you got this, love," there's a reason she says that. Okay? All right, this one's for Ivona. Let's have a look. So what messages do we have for Ivona regarding this work future? If that's important, if that's appropriate for the cards. Let's just see what happens, okay? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Ivona just typed in on the screen. She's dreading going back to the same cutthroat field. Okay, let's have a look. What's the weather like? Okay, with the Hanged Man. Okay, so to me it feels like it's the feeling of being stuck. And it's okay to be stuck. Okay? I know that's probably the last thing you wanted to hear. Like with the Hanged Man, my feeling is that there's some very deep, subtle message that's going on here. I know for almost everybody, It's so important to have, like, we got to have money coming in, okay? We have rent, we have mortgages, we have insurances, we got to pay for food, we got to have, save for our future. We've got, day-to-day spending, cups of coffee. I have to buy my little decaf. I have to buy my bottles of $3 Chuck. All of that stuff, okay? And how do we get all of that? And in our situation here, for everybody on this channel, most of that comes through work. Doing things where you get paid for something. Like I'm doing a show tonight, I'm getting paid with SuperChat to do these readings. That's just one example. Some people go to offices, some people go to factories, some people go to warehouses, some people run businesses, some people are employees, some people are employers. Either way, it's money comes in, money goes out. Somehow or other, you have to have money coming in into your life so that we can function, okay? So my feeling here is that you're kind of in this situation where it's almost like there's no point in expecting any kind of miracles at this moment. It's more about learning how to live with this experience of being uncomfortable with the work situation. It's almost like to me it feels like a huge, like there's a big question mark, and this is going to sound awful, Ivona, but that's how things are supposed to be right now. It's almost like what's happening for you, it's almost like the heavens, the planets, the universe is lined up in such a way that it almost doesn't want you to work right now. It almost doesn't want you to have a job. It almost wants to force you into a position of having to really consider like, well, what am I supposed to do with my time, work, money equation? How am I going to make that all work? And the thing is, when people are employees and they have jobs and they receive money for doing something, and whether they like it or not becomes secondary. They just get to a point where, like, well, this is my job and I just do it and I get paid, and so it is. It might not resonate with you at the core heart soul level, but it might have a way to, create a life. And that's fine, okay? But, like, for example, Ivona, I had to learn the hard way when I became unemployed. I've had a lot of issues with being unemployed because I've not been a very employable person, let's put it that way. A lot of health issues, attitude issues, talent issues, certification issues. And so I understand this card very well in this situation. It's sometimes very uncomfortable to deal with not having work situations the way you want them. But the beauty of it is that it gives you, it's kind of a scary way to discover, like, who you really are, what you really want, and how you're going to do it. Like, if you're really scared of going back to the same old grind, like, for example, if you have options open to you and you could go there, but in your heart you don't want to, that would make a lot of sense with this card. And so you'll end up with this big question mark. Well, what am I going to do? What do I really want? And how am I going to make that happen? Let's have a look. What's the situation? Okay, there is an awful lot of unknown energy here. The energy of mystery. It's almost like whatever you need to know will come to you when you need to know it. Not before and not after. So this looks like it's going to require a huge amount of trust in the divine intervention, divine timing. It's like you don't really have a choice. And that might feel extremely frustrating because with these two cards here and these placements, it feels like what we're dealing with here are matters that are completely out of your control. And what's really happening is this is a little like a chapter in life, like you know how life can be broken into many different chapters. You're in a certain chapter right now, and you're at a certain number of pages into this certain chapter where, like when you're watching a movie and you realize, oh my God, what next? What's going to happen now? Oh my God. Because you've done this, and this, and that. You could do that, and that, and that. There's possibility for that, and that, and that. But you don't really know. And so you're left with this big sort of gaping chasm of the great unknown. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my job, my money, my house, my life, everything? And that, you know, it might be a bit scary, but that is just as much a part of life as having everything stable and secure and locked down and tons of money coming in and being able to pay all the bills and just do everything perfectly. All right, so this could feel very frightening, okay? Let's just be honest about it. How are we going to, what's the challenge with all of it? Okay, deep fear of the future, okay? What now? What now? What now? What now? What's going to happen next? Where do I look? Where do I go? How am I going to do what I have to do? How am I going to be who I have to be? How am I going to get what I want? How am I going to get what I need? What is the puzzle here? What is, you know, to me this has the deep fear of looking onto vast horizons and realizing that you don't have a backup plan. You don't have a master plan. You don't have the next step lined up in front of you. And that can be really frightening. It's understandable. So how are we going to deal with this? Okay, so with the Chariot here, it feels to me there's so much like, you know, fated type of energy here. My feeling with the Chariot here is that the way to handle this situation is, first of all, surrender and acceptance, okay? Because to me it looks like you don't have any choices here. It's not like, it doesn't look to me like you can just go out to some kind of employment agency or LinkedIn or some job website and just post your profile and then suddenly just somebody just calls you up and recruits you in the next week or two and everything's fine again. I don't see that here. What I do see here is like, wow, I really have to accept things as they are and then figure out, well, actually, what am I going to do now? For example, are you doing something? Do you feel you have something that you could offer through, let's say, all these professional job sites like LinkedIn and things like that? And then all of a sudden you realize, I really have to get my act together. I really have to start posting. I have to start hustling. I have to start job hunting. I can't just sit and wait for people to call me up. I just can't wait for a recruitment agency to just fall out of the sky and say, oh my God, Ivona, you're the perfect person. It's almost like, this is like a wake-up call to like figure out, well, what do I really want to do? How am I really going to get my act together, my life together, given who I am, my life, my world, my experience, my resources, everything? Because there's a lot of questions here, a lot of unknowns here. And so the reciprocal is like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I've got to get my act together some way, somehow. Like, for example, like, let's say from a year from now, the work situation isn't improving. What are you going to do? In other words, when, the teachers in recruitment classes, they come up to you and say, hello, Ivona, you're 17 years old right now. How do you see yourself in a year from now? How do you see yourself in 5 years from now? How do you see yourself in 10 years from now? That's what I think is happening here. It's kind of one of these wake-up calls, like, oh my God, I have to take a really serious look at this. Like, how do I see myself in a month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year from now? How am I going to deal with 2020 and all these eclipses coming up? Not only I have to get my act together, I am going to get my act together. And a lot of getting your act together would mean things like, to me it feels like tuning into messages from heaven, learning how to be very uncomfortable with the situation, and dealing with the fact that this is really in some ways very frightening for you, not having a master plan and not having a guaranteed paycheck or a guaranteed outcome in the way that you would like. And so it's like, wow, what am I going to do about this? For example, it might be an attitude adjustment. Maybe let's just say you do have work opportunities there for you, but they're not what you would, ideally choose. On the other hand, maybe that's part of the path. Maybe that's part of the path of learning how to live a life where, you give of yourself as an employee in such a situation, and you receive money, and then there's the gratitude that goes with it, and then you have what you could call a life, and then what do you do now with that life? Okay, so that can be pressure sometimes. Either way, to me it feels like there's a lot of surrender here, surrendering to the facts, the reality, that there's a lot of unknowns, and that has to trigger the idea of like, I have to get my act together. Okay? I have to. So Ivona, we can talk about this another time if you want, okay? We can follow up on this. I think this is important because this is very diffuse. This is, to me, looks like it's very hard to understand and deal with this energy, okay? And then the fear of not knowing what's happening, the fear of not knowing what comes next, and then the realization like, oh my God, I really have to get my act together. That can be really scary. On the other hand, if you tune into the flow of things, then there's a way to take advantage of all of this, okay? All right, Ivona? Okay, let me just check in with you. Okay, what I'm trying to suggest here, it's not the end of the world, okay? Okay, there we go. So I'll leave it like that, okay, Ivona? You're very lucky tonight. You got I think this was a pay it forward from Topaz, is that correct? Anyway, lucky Ivona. See, you're lucky. Okay. All right. What was that? TL said something that triggered. What's the matter? What's up, Laura? Oh boy. Uh-oh, we had a meltdown, people. I'm sorry, Laura. It happens on this channel, Oh. Luckily, you're with good people here. You're with good people, so don't worry, okay? Or I don't know what's happening. I don't know any details. Gosh, Laura, what the heck is going on? Well, look, from what I'm seeing from the notes, Laura, is that you're making really tough decisions to take care of yourself, and you've got a decent understanding of what's going on, whatever it is. Regret is so heavy. When you're starting therapy again, that's probably a very, very good thing to do. Love thyself. Understand that you're in pain. Understand that things are the way they are and you need third-party help. There's no point in trying to fix this on your own. You're right. All of a sudden it's song time. I'm going to play I Surrender, which might sound a little bit gloomy for people, but I think it's appropriate. Okay? Have a look here. Let's see. I hope this is the right version of it. I've got different... Hold on. That's Lena's Surrender. Hold on. I want to put the one with the words on it. Give me a second. Oh man. Duh. Let's try this one. This is called I Surrender. Oh, how the body craves. Oh, how the heart it aches. Oh, how the soul knows all of this. Feels like you manifested me in ways that match perfectly, answering my own wish for sure. So many lifetimes in the making. This time round there is no faking, no mistaking. I surrender, I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. There's no going back, don't even have any maps to our new futures. There's only our next breath. We're so fully committed and so fully engaged, so courageous and fighters to the death, building bridges from your heart to my heart, forging bonds of honest structure, our new start. I surrender, I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. Oh, oh, oh. There's no way around this, only way out is through. There's no way around this, open the door to bliss. Only way out is through, that's what we're gonna do, yeah. I surrender, I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. Oh, my hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. So there you go. I played that one. Now I'm going to put this over to the side. I'm going to get back to working with you guys. Yeah. Let's have a look. Hey Ivona, I saw your notes there. Yeah, it's you know, that thing that people do. I think this is the cool way to do it, not this way. You're supposed to do it this way. Okay, so we'll follow up. Take care, Topaz. Think long term, okay? Just think long term. Take full advantage of this next 13 months. These are pivotal months for the whole planet. They're pivotal months for you, okay? Really, really, really step by step by step, okay? All right? Now, Okay, thank you, Robin. We'll do that. Email. Pretty much everybody here has a Tarot Lumination email anyway, so should be good. We're good. We'll figure things out, people, okay? Now, we're going to I'm going to do a little oracle for Path, okay? And actually, before I do that, I want to show you something. Hold on. Here we go. Hey people, look what I got for my birthday. This was gifted to me by one of the members. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful deck. I'm not actually going to use it in this particular reading, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and we've actually used it a few times already. Thank you very, very much. Okay. I also had another amazing present, but I drank it all. Ha 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 ha. Well, I drank about 2/3 of it, and I shared a little tiny bit of it with people, but most of it. Okay, it was the kind of stuff you put in this kind of glass. Okay. And it has that brown amber color. In fact, I'll show you. The other present that I had was this one. It comes from Scotland, and it has this kind of color to it. And around the time of my birthday, I actually, had quite a few of these. But it was spread out over time, so it was very mellow, very civilized. Very gentlemanly. Thank you very much. So anyway, right now, what I'm going to do with Path is I'm going to pull a reading from this deck. Okay? It's a little spirit reading about how to kind of get in the zone. And it's a beautiful deck. I understand why it is so well loved. I'll just put this aside over here. Yes, I'm a very lucky person. Very, very lucky. All I'm going to do, Path, is I'm going to shuffle it up. We don't even have to ask any questions. Yes, aged apple juice. Alright, this is, it's a lovely deck. It shuffles very nicely. Wow, I can't believe I made it this far. It's already 3 hours in. It's almost 9 o'clock. That's almost midnight for you guys on the East. Wow. Hey, if you want to talk about decks, Robin's Realms readings, if you want to talk about decks, you need to hang out with Love Triber. She knows a lot about decks. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, Path, you specified the Gaia deck. Excuse me. That's all right, don't worry. I'm gonna go back to the Gaia deck. I'm really glad I just checked in on that. Phew. All right, let's have a look. All right, so here we go. Yay, Laura's gonna hang in a little bit more. Okay, the beauty of the Gaia deck is that it's very unambiguous. There's no messing around with the Gaia deck. It just comes right in your face. Like when people are like up in the clouds, they're lost or they're confused or they're not sure what to do or why or how, and everything is like confusing. The Gaia deck is really good at just like It's like having a really good arm around your shoulder from a loving parent who cares. It's that kind of energy. And they don't mince words. They call it out. They just call it out, okay? Oh, Pat. Well, what I might do is I might give you a little quickie double duty. It's only 2 cards, okay? We'll see what happens. Here we go. Let's have a look. Let's see what's happening here. All right. So this is just completely out of the blue, okay, Path? And it could relate to any aspect of life, but there's usually some kind of message. It's kind of like a singing bowl. When I do these oracles, it's really like a singing bowl. It just kind of goes ding, well, 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 and it hits you at the right frequency, at the right place, at the right time, for the right reasons, and you will understand the message. That's how it works. It says here, Moonlight, Travel, Romance, Potential. It's a beautiful card. Have a look. I think he does these in very heavy pastels, like oil pastels. Very luxurious. They're quite big paintings. They're like about 2 feet by 3 feet. That's pretty big. Okay, I'm just going to read from the book. It says here, Path, okay. Romance is in the air. You will soon travel to somewhere special. A romantic evening leads you to discover a source of untapped and virtually unlimited potential. A simple yet inspirational idea comes to you and will have you look at life from a new perspective. Through this, you will create something new, something that will be of lasting value. Relax. Excuse me, flipping the page. Relax. Unwind and enjoy this time. The reflective light of the moon fills your heart with love and reveals a deep well of untapped creative possibility. Now, when I look at romance, when it says romance in the air, to me that feels a lot about like falling in love with life, okay? Literally, the romance of being alive and being deeply aware, like through the physical senses, like how delicious it can be sometimes to breathe clean air, see the beautiful nature that surrounds you, and have these almost like ecstatic moments of realization about like how beautiful things can be, how beautiful things are, despite all the other hideous, tragic things that go on in the world. That's the beauty of this card. I think that's what we're talking about here. And I am going to go back to the other deck because you've been so kind and so generous. And I'm going to give you another little mini oracle as a backup, follow-up. Okay, let me just clear this. I'm going to go back to the Return of Spirit. So you get a double duty. You've all been very kind and generous tonight, and it really helps. It really, really helps. Super Chat is pretty much all that's left of the channel anyway, which is very sad for me, but that's just how it is. I'm not going to fight the system. The system is what it is, and that's how it. That's just how things are. Here we go. See, Robin? See how psychic you are? I was going to shuffle the book. All right, this is a little message from Spirit, okay? This is a super sweet deck. The lady who made it, she's into like digital fractal art, and then she wrote the book. I think what she did is she wrote the oracles, and then she created a painting to go with it. All right, here we go. I did a very big, fat, wide, uneven cut there because I wanted to have a really pristine. Thank you, Robin. I see that. Like a parting gift. Here you go. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at this, Path. That is a beautiful card. It's titled Union. This is fractal art. It's done with computers, and then they save the file, and you turn it into a print. That's what this is. Making fractal art is actually quite complex. I've already looked into it myself, and you have to get some really powerful software to do it properly. Here we go. It says here, Union. The Union card represents the energy of two loving souls coming together in union or in partnership. If a current relationship is in question, then this card indicates a positive energy is involved. This card can represent the beginning of a new relationship or one that is about to start. Most often, the Union card represents intimate relationships. However, it can also point to other types of partnership, such as business partners, very close friendships, or even roommates. In any case, the Union card communicates the predestined convergence and soul connection of two individuals. Whoever the person is that is in your life right now, or whoever it is that is coming into your life, is of great significance as far as your soul lessons are concerned. This is a beautiful opportunity for personal growth and conscious expansion of your heart center. Sometimes these relationships bring up our deeply held beliefs about the quality of love we feel we deserve. They can help to raise our consciousness and understanding so that we feel safe to allow this person to see into the deepest, most vulnerable parts of ourselves. With these types of relationships, one thing is for certain: you will grow and learn from them. Enjoy all the good that this union has to offer. Be as open as possible to recognizing your triggers, fears, and old patterns of behavior. Be mindful of when you are feeling the need to hide or protect yourself, or if you begin to fear losing their love. This will enable you to consciously address and heal any old issues and wounds of the past inside of you. This is a part of the soul agreement that you and this person share. You have come together to help each other to become whole, healed, and open to love in every way. Wow. Okay. So there you go. Thank you, Path. I'm just going to clear this deck, and then we're going to do a group reading, okay? Love thyself. There's a huge difference between falling in love with thyself, loving thyself, and becoming an egomaniacal narcissist, okay? That's not what we're talking about here. Loving thyself is one of the most profound, love affairs you can have in your whole life, because honestly, relationships come and go. Each one of us is an individual. And we will relate and we will unrelate. We will connect and we will disconnect. In the end, you're just left with yourself. And then what happens is you realize, like, my gosh, it's just, because I've had a lot of therapy, and one of the things that I learned from it is to come back to the self, come back to the center, and the reality of self and center, instead of projecting, and, blame, or looking at everything from a fearful position, and instead, you take full ownership, and you come into this deep, heartfelt center of self, to love thyself. And sometimes it feels very shameful and very, rude to literally make these decisions to love thyself and put up boundaries and say no to anything and anyone that does not comport with your decision to love thyself. When you do make the decision to love thyself, the people who truly love you will embrace you, and they will support you on that journey to love thyself. And then it amplifies. It's very satisfying. Cheers. Let me put this away. I could have packed it all up later, but I'm just doing it right now. Okay, now we're going to do a group reading. Okay, thank you, Nikki. I imagine Nikki's already gone to bed, but it's okay. You can watch it on the action replay. No worries. It's very late on the East Coast. I'm going to use the Tarot Lumination Heart Spread. Okay? So on the understanding, the heart yearns for the brain to come in alignment. Okay? Hold on, let me do this. Hey people, thank you for still being here. I like to use the heart spread. It's my Tarot Lumination Heart Spread. When we actually do it, it'll hopefully look sort of like this on the screen, the way the cards are all laid out. But the whole idea is that the heart is really at the very core center of us. It doesn't have a voice itself, but it has an energy field. But most of what we think of as consciousness happens up here. And a lot of people, especially if you live in a big city, or if you spend a lot of time on a phone or an internet or a computer or some kind of machine or stuff where it's all about your hands and your head, and it's very, very intensely focused, like for example on this channel, or if you're working in administration or something, it feels like your whole life is conducted from the neck upwards, and then the rest of your body from the neck downwards is just simply an appendage of your head. Okay? I don't look at it that way. What I believe is that we are a complete being, and our whole body, our whole physiology is us. We are comprised of our whole body, not just the thoughts in our brain. And so what I try to do with myself personally, I try to bring myself into heart energy and live from the heart energy. And that means having to make deliberate, conscious decisions to allow this part of myself to be overridden by this part of myself. And what a lot of people do is just exactly the opposite. They live everything from here upwards, and they try to force this to become in compliance with this. And it's almost like you're building a bomb. It's not healthy. In the long term, it doesn't work. I know from bitter experience. So I put a lot of my personal self-healing practices are designed to bring this into alignment with the whole being, the whole of yourself, your whole of your physical body, and ultimately to the heart. So that's why I use this spread. Okay, I hope it makes sense, people. Okay? Here we go. Okay, I'm going to put this aside, Nikki, so that we have some room. Here we go. Let's bless this deck, bless every single card, bless all the other decks that we've used tonight. Bless this whole channel, bless the electricity, the lights, the monitors, the microphones, the software, the cables, the cameras, the platform, and you, the dear members and viewers, and Lumination and the channel itself. Okay? Thank you very much. Excuse me. No jumpers, no flyers. I don't do that, and I don't do reversals. I just like things to be very simple. Okay? It's hard enough to do this without reversals. I don't know who started the whole thing with reversals, probably hundreds of years ago. I actually met a couple of really advanced, like, tarot teachers, and I had to separate myself because they were really, really, really good, but in the end I just could not live with the idea of reversals, and so I ended up having to do my own thing. Here we go. Alright, here we go. The heart needs what it needs, it wants what it wants, and it's doing its best to express that. And it's up to us in our conscious selves to, what I think of as, feel or listen. You've got to feel it to heal it. You've got to reveal it to heal it. If this energy is suppressed by our brain, then we're just building a bomb, okay? When the heart center is, like, I would say, dominant, and the brain is the servant of the heart, there's a much higher degree of the chance of being what we could call happy in this life. How you define happy, that's your own business, but there are a lot of different ways you can define happiness. It's a very, very specific, delicious feeling, and it goes to the very gut depths of your soul. Happiness is not to do with excitement. It's not to do with thrills. It's not to do with consumption or consuming, retail therapy, or any of those things, whatever it is. Happiness is something that you own deep in the soul, and it doesn't matter what's happening out there in the rest of the world. The heart needs what it needs, it wants what it wants, and it's saying what it can as best as it can, and it's hoping that we listen. We're all carrying baggage. We're all carrying, suitcases of expectation, pain, suffering, dreams, wishes, assets, resources, abundance, whatever it is. We're coming in with this. Over here, this is the energy of the now, the healing power of now. This is where all our power lies, because we live in a construct that we call time. From the human perspective, we have something called time, where there is what we call a past and a present and a future. The present is where our power lies, because our power lies in our ability to make decisions. And it's our decisions that lead to outcomes. A lot of people don't like to make decisions, so they choose to be, for example, automatons. They would rather be robots. They would rather somebody tells them what to do and how to do it, and so that they don't have to think. That's why there's only a very small number of employers and employees, and a lot more a very small number of employers and employees, because they have to make tough decisions. And most people would prefer to be employees and just get paid well for being a good employee. It's really strange how few people actually want to be the boss, actually want to be at the top, actually want to be in their fullest self. Anyway, it is in the present, it is in the moment, it is in the now where we execute our power through the healing power of our decisions. So we have to be aware of the energy field that is affecting our decision making. And then when we execute, we make the decisions. How do we do that effectively so that it actually works in a way that's good, that brings the brain in alignment with the heart? And in so doing, we co-create. We bring ourselves into a deeper and richer sense of alignment at our heart and soul level here. That's the act of co-creation, okay? Now, when we're making our decisions, okay, the ultimate decision is to love thyself. And it's also one of the hardest decisions to make, because it means having to prioritize love thyself, which can often mean saying no to something or someone else. And that's very hard for a lot of people to do, especially if you're a compassion junkie, or if you're very kind, or you're very generous, or you're very loving, or you're very giving. But you still have to make these decisions anyway. What happens when you make the tough decision and you take those bold risks, okay? Look at the abundance here. What happens if you basically cop out? You say, no, this is basically, no, I don't want to do that. I would rather just become, I don't know, I just want to become an Amish. I want to join an Amish community where every facet of my life is dictated by a code, so I don't have to think. Okay, you can do that if you want. And that's, some people do. It's a choice. And then you live with the consequences. But with this, this is a way to become who we are, truly who we are, in ways that we cannot do by refusing to make the tough decisions. So let's say you refuse to make the tough decisions. What are you losing? What are we losing? And over here, what is the storyline? How does this connect us into the next pulse, the next beat of the heart? So there is the heart. I hope you can see that. And it kind of goes ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. Energy flows. Energy flows. Okay? And we're all surrounded by energy fields. Okay? With the Page of Pentacles here, my feeling is that this is really wholesome, good friends, good buddies energy here. To me, it feels like this is a strong message coming to each of us from the great beyond, from divine intervention, all of our invisible friends combined together, reminding us that we're coming into this with innocence. We're coming in like we are an embodiment of a certain segment of society and people who take this stuff seriously. There's only a tiny number of people here, but we do this and we take it seriously. At least I do. A lot of people think all this stuff is a joke. I don't. This is fundamental to my life. I feel very deeply tuned in with the great beyond, and I dedicate a lot of time and energy to try and keeping myself in the heart center. But it is work, and I'm always aware about how innocent and naive I am. And yet I keep going with all the best of intentions, and I keep learning something new every day. But really, really what counts is to understand that you put everything you've got into it. You put all your talents, gifts, and your resources. That's what we all do. It's like a reminder. Just keep being who we are, doing what we do, putting our best foot forward, making sure that we just make the best of our talents and gifts and resources so that we don't squander this life. Okay? Let's have a look. Here at the heart center, the heart saying okay, to me, with the Nine of Swords here, what the heart is saying is that each one of us needs to acknowledge that we carry And to me, this looks like very, very microscopic, like slivers of wounds. And I'm not talking about the really heavy pain and suffering of, like, sex abuse as a child, or having been screwed over in finance or career or jobs or anything. Yes, there's all of that stuff. What I'm sensing here is the heart wants us to know that the heart is extremely acutely aware of even the tiniest injustice, the tiniest aberration from goodness. And in other words, it's like the heart bleeds, the heart cries, the heart suffers every time that we allow our brains to take over and squash the energy of the heart. Okay? We might think that we're getting away with it over and over again because we're so smart and we're so capable, and we've become so highly adapted to a material physical world, and we use our brains for doing 99% of our lives. But it's like at the expense of so much else. And so, like with the Nine of Swords here, it's like, please, the heart is saying, please understand, I am the heart center of you. I am the heart center of us. I am aware of all of this. My heart is aware of every time you betray me, every time you undermine me, every time you make a decision to put me aside in order to favor your brain, your consciousness, and indulge in the world of fear and action and reaction instead of loving and being loved. I feel all of it. The tiniest little thing. I am the heart center of you. I am aware of all of it. And it adds up. You might be living what appears to be a very wholesome life, but you might be doing it at the expense of me, and you might be doing it incrementally, one tiny little thing at a time, and it's very, very destructive. And the heart is saying, I don't want this, I don't like this, I don't need it. It's pain and suffering, and it's cumulative pain and suffering. You know how some people live really what appears to be really stellar lives, like everything is cool, they've got everything, they want everything, but there are certain dark secrets that have been hidden and buried for a long time, and then it all comes to the surface. And it would be like the energy of, like one of those predator molester types, and they get outed. And for years and decades, they lived a life that appeared to be so-and-so. And then it was discovered that these people were very sick. And so it's the same message for all of us here. Each one of us needs to be aware that every time we betray ourselves, we're just adding pain on top of pain. And the heart does not need that or doesn't want that. The heart wants to be happy. Okay? What are we bringing in with us? Okay? Okay, my feeling here is that with the Four of Pentacles, each one of us is coming in with quite a lot of fear that we're going to lose ground, that we're going to be undermined, and that the ground is going to slip away under our feet. No matter what we do, no matter what we try, and that we all want to build like our own little castles, our own worlds, our own foundations, our own stabilities. But at the same time, we're scared that we're never going to have any of it. That's perfectly understandable, I think, with all the eclipses coming up in January 2020 coming up. So I'm not scared by this at all. This does not disturb me at all. It just makes me feel that we're all here. We're very aware. We're very aware of the potential of the good stuff coming up for us. Oh gosh, I feel an astrodoodle coming on. Hold on. Stay there, people. I'm just going to keep this ultra simple. Okay, what I'm trying to suggest here, what I'm feeling with the reading so far, is that we're all aware, because we've been hanging out together for some time, we're all aware, because I've been talking about it for a long time, I wrote the book about it, 2020 is coming up, and we've got 6 eclipses, and if you want to include the one in December, 7 eclipses, okay? And they're all hovering around the Capricorn Cancer axis, okay? So it's very much to do with material stability, responsibility, structure, and the restructuring of our lives. The title of my book was Global Restructuring, January 2020. But you could have easily retitled it as Personal Restructuring, January 2020. Okay? That's what I'm trying to suggest here, is like, we're going forward with the best of intentions. We know we have certain limited number of assets and resources that each one of us has. We know our liabilities, and our heart is telling us, please be aware that at the heart of us, we're acutely aware of anything and everything that is out of alignment with what is good and what is wholesome for building our futures. So please be aware. All right, what about now? The beauty of the Knight of Wands here is like we're going to go forward anyway. It doesn't matter how scared we are about our foundations. It doesn't matter about like how vulnerable we are to every tiny nuance that could impact us or intimidate us or stop us from going forward. We're going forward anyway. This is us. This is Tarot Lumination. This is Tarot Lumination Love Tribe. This is the members, the viewers, everybody here. We're going for it anyway. We're just going to go for it anyway. It's like it's our job. You know, each one of us is very, very different, but we have a core theme. It's like we hang out here. And what I feel is happening is that we're actually really good at encouraging each other and supporting each other to just go off and be you. Just freaking live your life on the understanding that yes, it's going to be frightening every step of the way. You're going to be constantly meeting new levels of fear, the tiniest little things, but you keep going anyway. We keep going anyway because life goes on. We're building a new map. We're restructuring, okay? It's global restructuring. It's personal restructuring. Now, for this to happen, we have to make decisions, okay? So with the Chariot here, my feeling is that this is a resounding message to look forward. It's almost like, you know, pretend I'm kind of one of those boot camp sergeant major types, and I'm screaming and yelling at everybody, you know, to get ready for this, get ready for that. You got to be trained for this. You got to be trained for that. It's going to be tough. We're going to be facing this and this and that and that and that. And that's going to be tough and everything. And I'm trying to do everybody a favor here by saying, like, please, everybody, we need to understand when we're making our decisions to go forward, it's really all about getting our lives together as individuals, okay? Knowing that we're going to be facing unending microscopic fears that could explode into what feels like really debilitating fears, but we keep going anyway. It's like it's like charging into combat, charging into war. It's like D-Day or something. It's just like one of those big epic events in World War II where we're facing almost insurmountable odds. But we know we're going to win. We know we're going to prevail. And we know we have to charge forward anyway. Even though it's scary. Because if we don't do it, then we can't live with ourselves. We just become derelicts. And we know that here. So the beauty of this is that it's a very supportive group energy. It's almost like, to me, it feels very military. It's like think of Terra Lumination as a drill sergeant, and I'm just like, ranting and screaming and yelling like, do this, do that, blah 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 blah. And yeah, it's might be like miserable, might feel like I'm pressuring people, but in the end, I know you love me, and I love you guys, because we can't do this without each other. And so it's like a band of brothers. It's like a band of sisters, and we coalesce and help each other get our lives together by going forward into it. Okay? It's tough to do, but we do it as a team. Okay? Getting our lives together as a team, knowing that we're all frightened about our own quirks and details. It's like one of those war movies where, there's the big battle going on over here, but the movie actually focuses on the nuances of each individual soldier going forward. All their personal fears. They're sitting there looking at their photographs of their loved ones, knowing that they might, have a really hard battle ahead, but they go forward anyway. How do we do this? We trust. We trust in the fates. We trust in the great beyond. We trust in the understanding that everything is exactly as it should be. All the forces of the universe, the Capricorn, all the eclipses, all the things that are coming up in 2020, they're all supposed to be the way they are, and it's up to us to take advantage of it. It's almost like fated. Like, this is awesome. It's epic. It's kind of like we're living in some kind of one of those old-fashioned war movies, and it's epic and it's courageous and it's beautiful, and we're going to be okay. And we're not slaughtering other human beings. We're slaughtering these demons, okay? All these things over here, and we're facing forward into our fears, okay? And we're dealing with it. And the Wheel of Fortune is saying, like, take advantage of me. Take advantage of all the energies that are out there. Everything to do with January 2020. Take advantage of that. Make bold decisions. Take advantage of the eclipses. Make bold decisions. Trust in the process and go for it. That's what we're doing. That's how we do it. You just go. We just literally go for it. There's a huge impulse here of like, just freaking go for it. We're just gonna go for it, okay? And we just charge forward. We just charge forward. We face the fear. We charge forward, okay? And so we co-create. Look at that. Look at that. Okay? What happens, it's almost like we blow up anything and everything that gets in the way of this. Every time, it's almost like every time this feels like a war movie to me, this whole thing. Every time we blow up one of these things, we realize, oh my God, that was just fear. Oh my God, that was just fear. Oh my God, I blew that one up. I blew that one up. We blew that one. I blew up that one for you. You blew up that one for me. Oh my God, oh my God. I've saved you. You've saved me. This is epic stuff. That's what the heart wants and needs. And what happens is you get to this point of loving and being loved by removing the obstacles. Because this is what was there all the time. This is always there. This is the healing power of love. And it's always, always there. It's just a question of tuning into it. And you don't have to run for this. This is there. And it's more to do with removing the obstacles rather than trying to go and get this, and to get this and to grab this and have it. You actually get this and you have it by living through this epic decision-making process of facing the fears and going for it anyway. And you realize, oh my God, it was all an optical illusion. Ha, 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 ha. All right, so what happens as a consequence? To me, it feels like we come into new levels of understanding of what love is and how it means by the end of next year. I mean, this sounds ridiculous because it's just one little tiny reading, but I see this stretching over many months to come, where when, to me, it feels historical. This feels very kind of historical. It's almost like, like Winston Churchill or somebody is basically telling everybody before battle, please understand, everybody, that this might just be one battle out of a big war, but these battles are cumulative and they add up. And one day, this will go down in history as one of the most important things in human history, the most important times, okay? And that's what I'm sensing here, is that when we live through this, as we live through these next 13 months, we will open the door and come out the other side, and then we'll be wondering like, oh my God, what do we do now? Now that we have prevailed, like this new land, you end up in this new land, this new world, where you understand what it means to love and be loved, where the energy of loving and healing becomes more dominant. It becomes a bigger and bigger priority in life, and then you realize, oh my God, it all starts all over again. What do we do now? What do we do now? What now? What now? Now that we have these increased levels of awareness. So it's a beautiful thing. And of course, the reciprocal of that is if we wig out and we say, I can't handle this, I'm going to defect, I'm just a defector, then you lose all this, okay? And you lose your mates, you lose your buddies, you lose your comrades in arms, okay? That's not going to happen, people. I'm not going to let that happen on my watch, okay? So let's have a look. So the next beat. Oh, look at that. To me, this looks like we're building blood bonds, soulmate bonds for the future. Like this is one chapter in a lifetime for each of us. And then what happens is we're all going to live through this storyline together, like watching an epic war movie. And then we're going to come out the other side and we're going to realize how much we've loved each other, how much we have shared with each other, and we have built these beautiful soulmate bonds that are irreplaceable, and they will endure beyond this lifetime. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. That's what I see here. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to have a little beverage now and hang out with you guys, okay? I know you've been chatting. I haven't seen the chat at all, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But anyway, that's our little group reading for tonight. Thank you very much, Nikki. And you can see it on the action replay if you want to. There we go. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for your generosity and kindness. I'm going to play a little tune now. I'm doing this to cheer myself up, okay?
spotted well. My immune system spotted well. My immune system spotted well. My immune system spotted well. Oh, oh, my T cells are spotted well. 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 Oh, oh, my T cells are spotted well. 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 Oh, oh,
Hey. Hey, I don't know if you can see this, but it looks from over here as though the live stream got stuck. Something got stuck. Hold on. I don't know if I can unstick it. Yeah, it's like everything looks good from over here. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but there's something really jammed up. It's like it's got really jammed. I'm going to just switch out for a second. Give me a second. Let's have a look. Hey. So, hi Frittily, yeah, I needed this too. Good night, Nikki. Thank you for the group reading. That was out of control. Nikki, I know what you're like. I mean, because you feel things very vividly. That came onto me that very strong. It was literally like, you know I like to watch my Netflix, right? That's my little indulgence. That's the only thing that I do. Otherwise, I'm just minding my own business. But the little thing that I do is like I watch, 5 nights a week I watch a little bit of Netflix. And recently I watched like an epic war movie. And that's what I felt with this reading. It was just felt like all the power of like all of us being soldiers and being in this team thing where like sometimes people get galvanized. It's like the power of the masses. Like it's like what it's like what Winston Churchill did in World War II. I mean, none of us were alive at that time, but Winston Churchill, he galvanized the people into a realization like, if we don't do this, if we don't run into this fear, if we don't run into this fight, it's the end of the world as we know it. And so they did it. And they went in they went into these abominable war situations where, you know, everybody knew that there was going to be some tragedy, but they still went in with the spirit. They still went in with this fighting spirit, knowing that their energy lives beyond the moment. In other words, like the people who fought in World War II set a foundation for the rest of us alive here today to live in a certain degree of freedom that we would never have had if those particular warriors had never walked into the fear and lived that fight. And so I'm feeling a connection with, like, this is energy that goes back before any of us are born. But I think we have to acknowledge that we're living in a time in a world now, like whatever it is, 80 years later, after those big wars, those wars of the 20th century. The whole of the 20th century was a bloodbath, by the way. It wasn't just World War I and World War II. It was just continuous war all the way. And anyway, people like Terra Lumination and you guys and a lot of people in America are enjoying the benefits of that, okay? And it would never have happened otherwise if those mind-boggling warriors had not grouped together and brought themselves into their heart center and made these decisions, these very sacrificial decisions to walk into the fear anyway, okay? Fertility is saying the visuals are moving slowly. Well, from what I can tell, they're completely shot to pieces. And it's stuck. Okay, it looks okay. I don't know what to do. The whole thing is shut down. So I'm going to take that as a signal that the show is over. There's no way I can reboot this thing without shutting the whole show down. So what's actually happening right now is I'm broadcasting in person. I'm here. I'm on the blue screen. So you guys can see. Theoretically, you should be able to see me, but it doesn't look like it's happening on the channel. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say thank you all. Bless you all. Have a beautiful evening. So if the visuals do come across later on the, after the processing is done, that'll be great. But at least we had a super night and connected. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. Actually, let me play some music. You might be able to hear a little bit of music, okay? Okay? Let me just, give me a second here. I just want to, Heather Joy Rosario. Heather Joy Rosario, where have you been? The show is over. Heather Joy, you're going to have to come back next week, okay? Because I think I'll be strong enough to do this again next week. Right now I've been very sick, okay? Okay? So I'm going to play a little song for Nikki because I didn't realize Nikki was still here. So I'm going to play this one for Nikki. And I hope please let me know if you can still hear the music, okay? Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Let's dissolve our pain and get out of danger. Heal all the wounds and cure all the anger. I'll be the doctor, you be the patient. Here is your medicine, I'll help you take it. No, it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. It wipes out the fear and makes you live longer. It's not a lotion, it's no magic potion. It's just a dose of love in the moment. I'll watch you while you're lying there. eyes are closed and your heart is bare. Perfectly still, but still aware. And I'm right here because I care, because I care. Holding your hand, I know you can feel me. All talking a whisper, I know you can hear me. When you awaken, when we are conscious, totally healed and cured, just watch this. No more weeping, no more sadness. Gone is the fighting, gone is the madness. We can choose to become alive or just disappear or become survivors. I'll watch you while you're lying there, while your eyes are closed and your heart is bare. Perfectly still, but still aware. And I'm right here because I care, because I care.
We're not going to let you go down in flames. No, no, no. We're going to have fun. We're going to do this right.
na na